Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 87 of the Former Action Guys podcast, and I'm your host, Justin Kramer. And this week is a little bit of a lighter week. You know, coming off the holidays, if you probably noticed there was a gap there. Obviously, took a little bit of time off to enjoy Thanksgiving and to get caught up on school and stuff. I'm at the end of my semester at San Diego State University, so here in the next 2 weeks, I should be finishing up for this semester and then back into it in January. But it'll be a nice break. I've been taking 6 classes, and it's been kind of a pain in the ass. So anyway, back this week, and I have on Paul Smith, who was on episode 71. He was a Marine Corps Weapons and Tactics Instructor, or WTI, JTAC, which is the highest qualification for a JTAC in the Marine Corps. He was also the JTAC manager for First Marine Division. So he was basically in charge of about a third of the Marine Corps' JTACs. So he's back on today, and I have on our friend of the show, Michael Farrell, who's been on multiple times. If you want to hear about just Paul Smith's career, then go back to episode 71 and check that out. This one, we talk about some stories about overseas and stuff like that, but we just kind of hit the gamut of stuff like local events, but current events and different things. Really interesting time. Good time to sit around and drink some whiskey with these guys and kind of bullshit. I hope you guys enjoyed that first episode back from Thanksgiving. If you haven't already, make sure to leave a review on Apple Podcast. Even if you're not listening to us on Apple Podcast, a review there would be awesome. We're at 90 straight 5-star reviews. And as always, make sure to hit up my Instagram at jkramergraphics, which has hit 11,000 followers. So I really appreciate everyone that's hit me up there. So 11,000 followers on jkramergraphics Instagram. And then I also have the Former Action Guys podcast Instagram. So make sure to check those out, both on Instagram. And yeah, enjoy the episode. All kinds of children.
Ooh. I got none in this country.
Ooh. None that anyone knows about, right?
Yeah. I might have an illegitimate child in Australia.
Think so? Could that be?
I'd say real life percentages, 40%.
Really?
Yeah. Well, she messaged me a bunch of times, like on Facebook and shit, like, hey, we need to talk. And then I just deleted everything on it.
You're like, no, we don't.
That was years ago. That was 2014.
What are you going to do if you have a kid show up one day and be like, Dad?
Honestly, it'd be kind of cool because he'd be like full-blown Australian. I'd be like, okay.
What's your wife going to say?
We don't talk about that yet. Hang on.
What if he shows up and hates you?
That would suck because he probably would, which would totally be like some...
He's like, you fucking Marines.
On Family Guy. They
come to my country.
Like that. Yeah, they probably would hate me. I would hate me too.
But with an Australian accent.
Mm-hmm. Which makes it way cooler. Yeah. It makes it totally okay.
How do you say you motherfucker with Australian accent?
Fucking hell. You can stick it in me shits if you like. My brother-in-law was in... So my brother-in-law is a scout sniper with 1-1, and he was in Australia when 9/11 happened. He was on the Mew when 9/11 happened. If you ever watched the Mew, there's always a video that it's been around forever where it's like the guys on the Mew and they're sitting in that couch and they're watching the video of the Twin Towers getting hit. It's in a lot of like the 9/11 memorial videos. That was his ship that he was on.
Yeah.
But they were at port at the time. So they were like, fuck, we got to get back. And I remember he was telling me about some girl he was banging there or something. She was like, I'm on the rag, but you could stick it in me shits if you like.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, that's one way to do it.
One of the best times I ever had was in Australia.
Stick it in me shits.
Wasn't the XO or the somebody at the ANGLICO on that Mew?
I'm not sure.
I want to say it was the XO or the OPSO before I got there. Or he like switched over right when I got there. Was one of those guys on that Mew.
Are we making moves right now?
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh.
Do you want that to not be that little tail?
Oh, I don't give a shit. You can say whatever you want.
All right.
No, we already started.
Yeah, we're going, bro. I mean, I can cut it wherever I want.
Cuffed the pants today, did you? You guys can't see this, but he's got some nice...
They're a little long.
Are those new pants?
Yeah. They're a little long. So I'm like in between. You know how the length, they go every 2 inches? Mm-hmm. I'm like, if I get 30s, it's too short. If I get 32s, it's too long.
So that's how I've always been my whole life as well, but I've just go to 30s. It's kind of cool letting your ankles breathe a bit.
I'm actually, I just got these. I'm going to take them to the tailor and get them hemmed.
Yeah, but they never look the same. You got to just let the ankles breathe.
Know.
Go with a 30 and call it a day. Don't fret that kind, whatever.
How would it not look the same?
It just
you
doesn't.
Don't think they can, you don't think they can trim that?
See how my pant, it has like the nice, okay, that's the end of a pants. When they do it, imagine just cuffing it, and now that's what it looks like.
No, but they could put the little stitching back in there. Yeah. My mom would do it when I was a kid.
Mom ain't here, okay? We're having the lady down the street do it for $4.99, and she's not as good.
That's what I don't think so.
She's got to bring the mama song back.
I got a North Face jacket from Bahrain, from Dubai, and it was $12. So it's a knockoff. It's not a real North Face.
Yeah.
But you could never tell the difference, both in performance and visually. So aesthetically very pleasing. Like this thing looks like a normal, and it has like the inline zipper that you zip in like the fleece part of it. Miraculous. I brought it home and it was -30 last time I was home. Couldn't tell.
Maybe it's not a knockoff. Maybe it's just a reject.
So
like
she
stitching
put
off or something.
a new because the zipper was really flimsy and shitty. That's how you could tell. I'm like the zipper was garbage. The lady put a brand new zipper on it for $20 the other week. Perfect, flawless.
Oh,
She's
legit.
right. There was a little black smudge in the one I got lacy, and the dude used WD-40 at the shop, like when I was buying it.
Yeah.
And like rubbed it off WD-40 and got it down to like $8. I think I paid for this North Face.
Do you guys miss being able to get knockoff stuff from overseas?
Absolutely.
oh, absolutely.
That's where I got my knockoff Beats from, and those things work great.
Oh, what's his name got a pair out there too? Wilson.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Kuwait. They bought them in a little shop in Kuwait on Jabber or one of those bases.
Except for backpacks. I never had any good experience with a knockoff backpack.
Your microphone condom is falling off.
Oh, shit, son.
Oh, there you go. You got it.
Oh.
Back in.
I've never bought a backpack. Did you? Dude, you're old school GWatt, so you were probably buying the knockoff DVDs back in the day, huh?
And,
When was your first
shit.
deployment to Iraq?
World War II.
shit. What was the name of the damn, I don't know why I'm brain farting. I must have had the same things he
What was
had.
the Guadalcanal
share
like?
I remember when we went to Iraq, everyone had hard drives that were blank that were going to get all the movies off the share drive. The share drive was an infestation in Iraq, was just an infestation of professional stuff and then like movies and pirated videos and
How was
music.
it not? None of that was like virus. Like
So when I got there in 2009, that's when they were like making people sign a thing saying they wouldn't put a USB. You would lock your thing if you put a USB thing in that before that. But yeah, there was porn on the share drive. There was a female corpsman that we had that was just
Oh shit, Doc.
getting around. You know what I'm saying? And she started like soliciting herself for money in Iraq. And I guess some dude made a video with her, and another one of the corpsmen didn't like her or something happened. I don't remember. And he put the video on the share drive of her blowing some dude for money. And it was just,
Really fucked up her income.
oh man, it was bad because everyone that had access to the share drive. So Iraq,
Do you think the CO watched that and didn't even for a second get a smidgen of a boner? Like nothing even like, was it literally just like, this is professional. I'm watching this for professional reasons.
I'm sure he had to see it.
Good job.
Yeah, it was, that was such a crazy thing that happened.
HM1, your technique is all fucked.
Garbage.
I'm here to criticize. My gunny at the time was like, hey, have you guys seen that video? He's like, where can I find it? And we're all like, fuck you, creeper ass. Like, we didn't like him.
What a piece of shit.
And I was like, yeah, I was like, I saw it on this website. It's called, what was that? Meatspin.com. Because that was when it was like a new thing. No one had heard about it. So I was like, meatspin.com. I think you could see it there. Just type in whatever. And he's like, okay.
That's
And
such
then
a
the
bold
next day
strategy.
he got pissed at me.
Meat spin.
Have you seen it?
No, I never heard of it.
Yeah, go to meatspin.com. It's got good quality videos. It's literally just a video of just go watch it.
No, that just reminds me of this.
I thought that was a known thing. I thought everybody heard of Meatspin.
So a long time ago, before all the comm shops put all this shit on the computers, you can send each other like little viruses, right? So when you clicked on it, it'd be like the gay shit that pops up on your screen and you can't turn it off. So when I hear meat spin, so I opened one up one time. It was that song "You Spin Me Right Round." So it's this dude hop on another dude, and his boner's just like going in circles.
That's
and
it.
That's Meatspin. That's Meatspin.
Okay.
That's what I told him it was. I was like, go to meatspin.com.
So what Meatspin does, it's a counter. So every time it spins, it counts. So then if you like open it and whatever, and you come back to it, it'll tell you how many times that dude's dick's gone in a circle, which is pretty impressive.
Man.
Wow.
What other pirated stuff did you get overseas?
Oh, man. So what sucked is on deployment when you had your hard drive full of like the good shit. And someone's like, hey, man, can I borrow your hard drive? But you had to give them like the lowdown. Like, hey, when you eject it, you got to eject it from the computer first. Don't just pull it out of the computer. And people would do it, and then you would lose everything.
I have never lost anything from a hard drive from that.
I probably lost, I'd say 2 or 3 full. But I was on ship in Okinawa for 2 years. So I spent a lot of time. I've dealt a lot with hard drives with good movies on it. So between Lacey and I think we have 4 at home right now of just every movie you could think of that's always on a hard drive. Or is like,
would you plug that hard drive into a new computer, or would you be afraid it would infect it with viruses?
No, I'd plug it in.
No.
I mean, it's kind of like putting my dicks into things. I mean, it's kind of the same. You're kind of you're running a risk at that point, you know.
How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to see Liar Liar?
Yeah, exactly. I remember on ship one time I wanted, because like we were like month 5 in or 6 in, and I was getting the itch to go ride the motorcycle. So I'm like, fuck, I want to watch. What's that? Not Bad Boys. What's the motorcycle movie? The really cheesy ass biker boys.
Biker Boys.
I'm like, man, I want to watch some motorcycles go fast.
That's stupid ass.
It took me a day and a half to find somebody on ship with it. And after I watched it, I was like, this is the dumbest goddamn movie I've ever fucking
It's real
seen.
bad.
Yeah.
Especially when he's cutting in and out of traffic and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
really,
real bad.
really got me going.
Man.
Speaking of that, I just
Never
got the
watched
bike. Lacey and I took the bike out 2 days ago.
How's it
I think
running?
it was. Good. It's pouring through gas. I think it's just because it's not tuned, but man, is that thing still
What's
rip.
it cost to tune a bike? It's like $500 for a car.
$250 to $300 usually is a dyno, like a
Dyno tune.
yeah. You could get the auto tunes, which it plugs into like like an O2 sensor
Yeah.
into and then it'll constantly update the ECU or whatever power computer you have on it. It's expensive, and so I've dynoed my bike 3 times now. So if you think that's $250 a time,
It's worth it though.
$750 in dynoing.
Especially your bike's built, man. You don't want to accidentally blow the motor with some,
Believe me.
off the shelf tune.
Yeah. I'm going on motor number 3 now. So
Yeah. So.
Are you really?
yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dude, he rides that bitch hard.
I beat the shit out of that thing. But that's what it's meant. That's
Ride it
what it's
hard,
there
put up
for.
wet.
Exactly. And she's leaking a little oil now too, so I'm like, fuck. But just like a pin drop. It's not a lot.
It's giving you some
A little
good
bit.
miles though.
Yeah, dude. It's got 45,000 on it on the bike.
It's a lot for a bike.
Oh yeah.
That is a lot.
Oh, your camera just turned off.
Oh boy.
Why did it just turn off?
Four-way intersection. She was the last one to get there. Blew right through it. Oh man. It's like back when you're in Iraq or Afghanistan, you drive and you think you're about to hit an ID and your asshole just like kind of puckers up. Same feeling.
I can't imagine it's that kind of feeling.
Oh yeah. I thought I was like, oh, I'm dead. I'm
About to
dead.
get T-boned.
It's got to be suspect because I always think like, man, I'm going to be at some point in my life, probably if I have kids, you have to be because I like to be in control, like driving or anything really.
Yeah.
Even like when I'm with an experienced driver, I'd still rather be driving because I just,
sure.
if I'm going to die, I want to be the reason that I die.
Yeah, same.
But to think like your offspring is now like taking the wheel.
oh man.
And you're not like a student driver where you could have gas pedals and brake pedals on your side too. You're literally, your entire fate is
I'm
now
at her
left
mercy.
up to,
Yeah.
I'm at her mercy.
yeah,
Good
pretty
stuff.
much.
Yeah.
That's reckless. Very reckless.
I don't know what happened to the video there. I got a new SD card, so I wonder if it's something with that.
Did it turn right back on?
So maybe our audio listeners might have an extra. Yeah, it said it had to repair an error, which I repaired, I guess. As soon as I turned it on, it said error fixed.
What?
And then I just started recording, so our audio people might have a little bonus section up
Probably
front.
a ghost.
A couple minutes up front.
Bonus.
Paul Smith, you want to tell us what we're drinking here today? You got this new concoction.
Well, it's new to me, but it's definitely a knockoff old fashioned. So, on Halloween is when I first discovered this. I went to a little bar in Old Town Temecula, and we got an old fashioned. So the dude, I watched the little dude make, because I was sitting at the bar, and he takes a little piece of cedar wood and a blowtorch, and he heats it up to where it gets kind of fiery, and takes a cup, turns it upside down, lets it sit there for a few minutes so the smoke, the flavor, and you can still smell it.
I can still taste it in mine.
taste it. Yeah.
Gets all in the cup. And then he takes it off, puts the ice cubes, put the whiskey in it, takes a little strip of orange citrus, and then I think a little bit of sugar, kind of like an old fashioned, and voila. So this is kind of a knockoff version of that. It's not very.
No sugar. I don't have sugar.
Yeah.
You don't carry sugar in your house.
Although I'm about to cash into my Groupon. Did I tell you I bought a Groupon thing a long time ago? Back in
You buy
About to
Groupon?
cash into Groupon.
No, so back in June, no shit, back in June or May, whenever the quarantine shit was still going on, Groupon hit me up, and I bought a bartending license for $5. And I just got an email. I got an email 2 days ago. Says, hey, your thing's going to expire soon. I was like, oh, shit. So I'm about to cash in on it and become a official bartender.
So what is that, like classes or something?
It's an online class, isn't it?
Yeah.
You actually have to like you have to like attend.
Yeah, you get certified.
There we go. Because I've always wanted to, and I'm like, man, I think I'm just lazy. You're gonna be how long is it?
I don't know yet. I ain't opened up yet.
Don't most people learn by like bar backing for a while? They work the bar, but they're like the ice dude for a long time.
The Firehouse, the place I used to go to often, we're like, we can get you a job here, and I'm like, the only way I would do it is if I go to be a bartender, because I don't want to do. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. But they're like, no way. Like, you have to do bar backing, and that takes
really?
years.
Those dudes do that for years.
You have to, like, because to be out there and bartend, you can make a living off of that. They make a bunch of money. Anyway, but yeah, you got to do all the shitty work first, obviously. And
got to work your way up.
I don't want to do that.
Well,
but I think being a bartender would be super cool.
It'll be $5 for a certificate.
Absolutely.
Just got to start your own bar. Do it that way.
You know what? I've always
dangerous.
wanted to have like a little dive bar. Oh, my own dive bar.
Do you think it'd be dangerous? Do you think you'd become an alcoholic?
I
think it'd be tough to not become one.
No, but I think that being single would be much easier to own that than it would be being in a relationship, because you're gonna just hang out at a
your nights are screwed.
Your off time, like you go to a bar and have a good time. Now you own one, so you have a total reason to go to a bar and have a good time. Like,
the way we're looking at it is why none of us should ever own a bar.
Exactly.
We should not be looking at it as a fun thing. It should be like straight work.
I don't think
You know
I'd be
what
able
I'm
to
saying?
separate the two.
No.
I wouldn't be a good bar.
I'd have that
owner.
one dude coming into my bar rescue dude, being
Yeah.
like, this place is fucked up. I watched you on private camera doing 3 shots.
Have you watched the Gordon Ramsay where he has like the hidden cameras in the show and he comes in?
I've never really watched
So
that.
like Gordon Ramsay does the thing where it's like playing like a bar makeover,
Same
but
deal,
it's
yeah.
like a 24-hour thing. Like he comes in like an outfit, tries the food, right, and they don't know it's him, and then tells him, "Hey, I'm Gordon Ramsay, right?" He's like, "This shit's terrible." And then 24 hours later, they make the same guests that were in there come back again and try the new food after 24 hours.
Huh.
So the whole bar staff, everybody has to stay the night. I don't know how long it actually takes, but they make it seem like it's just 24 hours.
Yeah.
And dude, he lets it fucking fly with these guys.
Isn't that his whole
like,
shtick?
Yeah, he'll like pull out the grease thing, and he's like, "What the fuck is?" Like shit'll be in there for weeks, and then you'll have like the old cook, because all the cooks obviously they don't even. Most of the cooks are like older guys who just don't have a job, and they're like, "Dude, I don't fucking care about this stuff."
You think they ever add in issues to make it more realistic?
Oh yeah, it's reality TV.
100%.
You don't think they'd give you a bad name? Like if they're like, oh, look at all this,
I think it is shitty, but I think that there's times where like, let's amp this up a bit. Let's sprinkle a little bit of crack on that or something. Like they probably
put
do
a cockroach in the whiskey bottle.
Exactly. But then there's hidden cameras. I don't know how they get the hidden cameras in like a week before. So there's hidden cameras like the one guy like trying the soup with his hand, like like drinking right out of the ladle, putting it back in. They're like, oh god.
See, I think that shit's all acted probably.
Maybe.
Because if you're a dude working in a kitchen and you have a camera on you.
That's the cameras are hidden. So somehow that they write off that, hey, we're going to be able to put cameras in here at the same time that you don't know. I don't know how it works, but it's good to watch.
Yeah. Good
It's fun
TV.
reality.
It's good TV, huh?
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's pretty much all I do now that I'm not anymore. I just kind of watch TV and go to work, and that's it. So I'm pretty
You're a regular dude
well-rounded.
now. You're a regular dude now.
I don't like it at all. I can't fucking handle it.
It sucks, huh?
There's just no... I talked to the guys at work about it. I'm like, dude, there's just no adrenaline to any of this. I'm literally...
You're not working up for something cool.
I'm a 9-to-5er. I will never ride in a helicopter on the side of it again, or like, hey, let's go to Arizona today to do a raid, and we'll be back by dinner time.
You
Like,
still get to do that every once in a while, right? You get to do anything cool? I mean, you're a TACP instructor, so.
We're going to 29 Palms in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
You guys driving or flying?
Driving.
Yeah.
do you get paid extra to go there?
So it's like the civilian side of DTS, but from what I understand, I get paid in a day instead of like, let me put my DTS in. 5 months later, I'm not getting my ass
Rejected.
chewed for not paying my fucking
Yeah.
DTS credit card.
Fucking DTS.
Or using it at SeaWorld?
Yeah,
Ooh.
like that one kid.
Wait, so how you just get like a per diem then?
Yeah, you get per diem, you get lodging, same thing as normal. You just get paid back.
So what do you do? You get like a vehicle, like they give you a vehicle, or do you use your
No, I'm
own?
gonna drive my own.
And then you just stay in the hotel or whatever and go out. When they're done, you just drive back.
So you can stay in whatever hotel you want as long as it hits to your. So you get a nightly cap for lodging, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like you will stay on base at the Roadrunner, you know.
Yeah.
I can go use my points wherever I want to now.
That's awesome.
Fucking awesome.
I'm a
You're living. You're a civilian.
I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Look at
You're
you.
officially an adult after 20 years.
I grew up.
I always
That's
like
awesome.
going and get a rental, man. You're like, hey, go pick up a Suburban tomorrow. We're driving out to wherever.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And load. It's like meeting up with everybody, load the car up. Like,
Because you're like, fucking, no
Convoy
matter
out
what,
to the
I know
range.
I'm probably going to go through a tire. Maybe
Oh yeah.
something's going to
Oh,
happen,
man.
but literally nothing has to do with me,
All-
and this is not going to come back. to me.
Brawley, dude. Going out to Brawley is where we would always pop tires. Wasn't it Brawley?
Yeah, bro. I have so many enterprise points. So many enterprise points.
I popped a tire out in Gila Bend or whatever how you say it, and out by the range. And I had to wait like 2 hours for some dude from the other tiny ass town, the one that's closer
Yeah.
to the border, to show up with his like pickup truck with like a trailer on the back. And then I never got paid back. I paid for all that tow because I thought I was going to get it
Yeah.
reimbursed, DTS. And they're like, no, we only pay for one pop tire. And I had two. I had already blown the spare. So I blew the second one. And then they're like, sorry, we only cover one. And then the unit, 11th Mew, thanks a lot. Never fucking pay me back.
Well, I'll tell you, enterprise ain't bad. I mean, you can return the car, vehicle, whatever you got, any shape, as long as you return it. Because as long as you
Any
get it's funny. So one day I was getting a truck, and the guy in front of me, he goes up to the line and he starts this conversation off with the guy. He says, "All right, the good news is I brought you back a better vehicle." And then, just like we were talking about earlier, when that BD-45 got dropped on us in the bivouac site, I had the rental car, blew out every window.
Oh, really?
So I returned it with no windows, and the dude's like,
You want to tell that story so
he's
the,
like, it's not the worst I've seen, but I'll take it.
the listeners know what we're talking about?
Yeah. So, as a matter of fact, if you're listening, if you ever go to TSP school, if you ever go to WTI, or even the primary, you might even hear the story as well too. So one lonely night in 2507s. You know 2507s, right? Chocolate Mountains.
Chocolate Mountains, yeah. Okay.
Yep. Nope. So. Yeah,
you've been out there.
I know you've been there.
There's
Chocolate
that one
Mountains.
OP that's
OP Feats.
OP Feats.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, oh, that's not that bad. Then it kills you on the way up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Feats is.
You got to go up the backside of that, don't you?
Yeah.
You got to drag the Pelican cases literally up a mountain.
Yeah.
Been there.
So I'm glad I never have to climb Feats ever
OP
again.
Feats.
Sunkiss is worse. Sunkiss is in the north. That's even
I've
worse.
never been to that one.
It's a bitch. That's a hell of a climb. And you get to the top, the OP is like that big.
Oh, really?
It's tiny. It's a hell of a climb to get up there though.
Yeah.
But Feats, I've had some interesting times on Feats. Really interesting times. But this one time in particular, we're doing it was a Summer Fury, which used to be called Scorpion Fires. So we're there, hot and shit. I'm the OIC of the range, right? So I'm the OIC of this whole thing, and I have different little RSOs out there. And I send a captain, he's a WTI. I send him up to the top of the mountain, a JTAC I up there, and a couple junior controllers to go get their initial codes. And so now I'm in the bivouac site. So if you got Feats, you look off to the west, you have all the impact area, and then behind Feats is the bivouac site where we always park the cars, and bivouac out and sleep.
Yeah.
I think Jerry was there too, actually. Jerry was there that day too. So so somebody's got a radio on. Somebody has a radio on down the bivouac site. I can kind of hear it. I'm sitting behind the vehicle, and I'm just wearing flip-flops and silkies because it's pretty late at night, but it is still like 1,000,000 degrees, right? Hot.
Yeah. For the people that don't know, that's in the desert between California and Arizona, right? Or Nevada?
It's right on the Arizona border. Yeah. So I can kind of hear the control on the radio because I'm thinking I'm doing the flows for the next day. I can hear the control going on. I'm like, oh man, this is not going good. But I'm having trust in the my people upstairs that are
WTI and JTAC guy that are up there.
that have the range. Yep. And then somebody opens up one of the car doors. and the light comes on, when you open the doors. And I was like, hey, sir, turn it off. Or light cast. They're like, oh, yeah, you're right, Smudge. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So shuts the door, lights goes off. A little later on, he, I guess, brain farts and opens up again. So this was just the wrong time to open the door because all the events that transpired kind of happened like this. So controller's going on, not going very good. Dude's up there trying to get an IR pointer. So if y'all know what an IR pointer is if y'all listening, it's like the little lightsaber. You can only see it with your nods on. So
night vision goggles.
Yeah, night vision goggles. PVS 14s, horrible things. So he's trying to get his control in. It's not going very well. I can kind of hear it in the background. I'm working the flows for the next day, and then the section of Cobras check in, and they're like, "Hey, this is supposed to be my range time." Or everybody's like, "Oh shit!" So they're trying to hurry up now. So the JTAC's got a section of F-18s on. Call sign Snake 1112.
In case you're wondering.
So all these events transpire. Everybody's kind of get like, oh shit, I need to hurry this up. The control's not going very good. They make some stuff happen. I'll leave out all the details. But long story short, I hear the words "cleared hot" over the radio. So I stop doing what I'm doing. About this time, that car door opens up again too, and I look up and I see a red light coming right at me, and I was like, I fucking hope that's not Snake 12. Sure as hell, all I hear is cleared hot. Then I hear like, oh shit. So I jump over the cot behind the tire and get down low, and just that BDU-45, which is a 500-pound concrete bomb, just slams 10 meters away. The truck was actually the target. The truck was actually the target because the light got opened up and the guy saw it on his nods. That's all he saw. And so he was aiming right for it.
So he thought it was an IR pointer on it.
Yep.
Oh my god,
he was
dude.
very disoriented.
Holy fuck.
This is why we require visual tally call
Yeah.
on an IR pointer control.
If you ever listen to the radio, you'll hear me come up on the net basically saying something like, hey, motherfucker, you just bombed the OP. I was pissed.
Well, if you got audio or video from that, I would definitely take it.
Oh, it's
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it hit about 10 meters away. Luckily, the only thing that really saved me from being smashed by a 500-pound bomb was the terrain was kind of like this. So the BDU hit here and rolled backwards. If not, it was a direct hit.
Damn, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Who was controlling that?
I don't know.
I don't want to burn him.
Yeah, he's still.
You don't want to. Yeah.
He's still in.
Is he better now?
You don't want to burn the guy that almost killed you.
I don't know if they did designate him or not, but he tried to kill me once after that too. One more time he tried to kill me after that.
Let's go ahead and say maybe he shouldn't be controlled.
God damn. Who was
God, dude. I've had some close calls, but never with air. That's one thing I've never.
I'll tell you off the
So
air.
it passed everybody, though?
I'll tell you off the air who the instructor was. Y'all know him. He's a good friend of y'all's.
Oh,
It passed everybody. Everybody was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So that means they weren't
Check on
paying
the map. Yep. Oh, that's definitely not us. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, he just got disoriented. So he went 11 miles out, 12,000 feet up, put the nods on, turned around. All he saw was the truck light come on. That's all he saw, and just got like a moth to the flame.
Not really the pilot's fault so much.
It was both. There was procedural calls that weren't correctly done on his end, as well as the
This is why you don't fucking
end.
speed up the process, man.
And this is what I tell everybody, because we talk about this all the time. I was like, there is a JCAS pub written for a reason, because shit like this has happened in the past, which made people write this stuff into the pub.
Yeah.
For you to follow the exact rules.
That's what I always said, man. These rules are written in blood. There's a reason for that visual tally call.
And I said that they're written in blood. I actually say that. That's when I teach the classes. Like, these are written in blood.
Yeah. I got into it with a major. I think he was from 3rd ANGLICO. It was like one of the reserve guys came down, and we were doing rotary wing casts out on San Clemente Island, and I had I think it was 2 Hueys. Either way, they came in lead shot, and I was doing a IR pointer lead shot. I got the visual tally. He shot, hit the target. 2 comes in, doesn't give visual tally. And for those that don't know what I'm saying visual meaning he calls out that he sees the friendly position. He knows where the friendlies are. And tally meaning he also sees where the target is. Because at night when you're using an IR pointer, it's one big laser beam. So you got to You got to make sure everyone understands which end of the laser beam you're distinguishing is the target. So they give that visual tally call. Dash 2 did not give the visual tally call, so I aborted him. And they ran out of gas after that. So they're like, yeah, we gotta head home. We gotta get back. Whatever, we're bingo. And the major was like, he shouldn't have left without being Winchester, and that's your fault. And I'm like, excuse me. I was like, he didn't give a visual tally call. And he's like, that's bullshit, man. He's like, that's a bullshit reason what you're saying. And I'm like, what are you talking? Like, he's arguing with me about this. And I said the same thing. I was like, these rules are written in blood, dude. Like, he didn't fucking do what he was supposed to. This isn't my fault. You should be mad at him for not doing the correct thing. Like, this isn't that he's going home with ammo. That's his fault for not fucking doing it right. And that's just one of those things. You have to be a hard ass about that shit. Especially in training. Things get a little bit more flexible overseas because, situation dictates. But in training, it's got to be locked on because if you don't know the basics, if you're not good at that, like...
Then you get hit with a 500-pound concrete bomb.
Then you might get fucking... You may never make it overseas.
There was an incident...
God, what a horrible way to get taken out.
Month and a half ago. What's that OP? Very top of Camp Helena has all the big tarantulas on it.
Oh. They renamed it. They call it OP Jacob now.
Is that Jacob now?
MFA 7?
Yeah.
The mortar firing area?
Yeah. They're doing IR cast there about a month and a half ago. Dude shot the OP.
No way.
No one's injured. 20 Mike.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
Dude, that's so sketchy, man.
Good thing you guys weren't using live ordnance that day.
Some of it was. I'm glad it wasn't what he had on board, yeah.
God,
yeah, because that's why we like going out to that OP, out to
then there'd be no
the
smudge.
Chocolate Mountains because
There'd
they have
be zero smudge. You'd be a smudge is what you'd be.
Man. Have you had close calls in training? Have you heard anything like that?
Nothing like that, no.
I feel like if you're involved in fire support, it's going to happen. You're going to have a close call.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've had some short, even surface to surface, some short shit, some off what it's supposed to be. He's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Buddy of mine, actually, Joey Belkey, good buddy of mine. He was in Charlie Company 1-4 when they're clearing Najaf. He was telling me a story. They had the 81s. His 81s, one of them just kind of went rogue and landed on the rooftop he was on. Buried itself in the rooftop and dudded out.
Man.
Fuck.
There's so many stories about like RPGs that didn't explode or grenades that didn't go off. And it's like, dude, that is...
Have you seen that picture of the mortar that goes through the side of the car right next to where you fill up with gas?
Oh, yeah.
The tire, and the tire's all fucked up.
Yeah, it's like a 120 too. That's a big round. Yeah. That's talking about some shit ass luck. I was telling him before we got on, there was one of my observers. I don't think I was out at the OP that night, but he called in a Mike 825 round, which is the white phosphorus where it air burst, does a sprinkle, and it's white phosphorus soaked felt wedges for my artillery people that are going to be anal about what I'm talking about. The canister, so it's eject from the base of the canister, and the canister continues on to whatever. It's BIP, if you want to call it the ballistic impact point. Well, I don't know what happened, but at Camp Lejeune, they had the guns too low. I mean, they were within the range regs. They changed the range regs after this mission, but it skipped and it went off. You've never shot out at OP5 or that range at Camp Lejeune.
No.
There's a road that runs next to it, to the impact area. Sometimes one of them they close if you're shooting over it.
The one by OP2, I think they close off because a long time ago, the colonel's wife.
I don't know if that's a myth or if that's real or not. Is that a true story?
I think it is.
Round?
Yeah, she was driving down the road and got hit by an artillery round, which is the exact same thing that happened here. Some dude was driving home from work, and this artillery, because it was just a canister now, all the shit had ejected, slammed into the side of his minivan on his way home from work.
How do you tell your insurance company that?
Like, hey, I got hit by an artillery round in North Carolina. Like, sure you did. Sure you did. You're paying the fucking deductible.
Yeah.
We're trying to get out of it.
Wait, so the colonel's wife died?
Yeah, I
that's
think so, yeah.
That's the story from like the 50s or 60s or something like that.
Yeah, but
Justin's a non-believer of anything cool like that.
I just want facts, man. I just need to cite your source.
Jesus
Christ.
That's the folklore at 10th Marines. Everybody knows that story.
Go ask, what are they, what's their call sign? Blackburn. Blackburn, yeah.
Is it Blackburn?
Blackburn. Just go ask Blackburn. I'm pretty sure they'll
Range
pull it up for
control.
you.
The fucking range control.
Who is it? Long rifle? Is that who we had over here?
Yeah,
Long
camp
rifle.
pounding, long rifle.
They're all Nazis too.
Those guys are quick on everything. Yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying, but
Can you fix your antenna and
Yeah.
try again in 10 minutes? You're like, Roger. First Anglico, fix your antenna.
yeah.
Like, man, make me look like a douchebag on the range control net.
That is a dick. You are shut down for 5 minutes. Fix your comm. Come back on the net whenever you think you have figured it out.
Yeah. yeah.
And then I was like,
they're all retired gunnies. That's what it is.
I was like, this guy is permanent radio watch, so I would probably be upset too. He's just sitting in a hut, drinking coffee, being angry.
Man, probably.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to be one of the range control guys that cruises around. Dude, the camera just shut off again.
Hey,
What the fuck just happened?
I didn't do it.
We incurring errors again? Not yet. But you can get into like states where you're actually like you're tripping out pretty good. So microdosing is take that and cut it into like a quarter. So you do like 0.3 grams. So say if 2 grams is going to make me have like a full trip, 0.3 grams is basically like what, a sixth of that or an eighth of that? You only get like the good effects from it. So you only get like the kind of happy, like kind of like a body high. Have you ever smoked? Do you smoke weed or have you ever smoked weed?
No,
Like high school.
it's
kind of like
he's a clearance guy.
oh
still.
right,
Yeah.
I forgot. Right, so you still get like the same. You get kind of like a body high from it, right? And you get you just have a good time, really. So today I took almost 0.6. So I took like 2 microdoses about an hour ago. Didn't think I was going to be here. Not that it would matter. I'm here.
Stepped in for Tracy Offit. We hope your bug gets better.
Yeah, not a big
Yeah.
deal. But right now they're kind of hitting me, and right now I'm getting a very warm, very kind of like the lights are very different.
Really?
Yeah,
From just that little bit? I thought
two
it'd be
microdoses will get you kind of.
just mellow, like
It's mellow, but it's
Feeling
definitely
comfortable?
like you're dealing with a couple things. You're like, okay, that light is a little bright.
You know what's crazy is anywhere but California, like this kind of conversation would be weird. Maybe not Colorado, I guess Oregon now, where you can smoke crack out on the streets. You know, if
Basically.
you
Where the
want.
hell you want?
Yeah.
But we go to this market where they sell weed, and it's almost like a weed farmer's market. You know, kind of deal. Like you go and they have all these vendors set up with they're just selling all this shit.
Yeah.
And there's always a dude there that has like a trash bag with like 5 or 10 pounds of mushrooms just sitting on the table. Like it's not. I'm like, is it not illegal still or?
So, all right. So mushrooms it's you hear it and you think of it as immediately like a drug, and it's just like it's not what any of. I think that we're in the very beginning stages of finding out what like cannabis and mushrooms are good for you and not good for you or whatever you want to call it. I'd say they're definitely better than like pharmaceuticals, right? So it's just a different. I don't see anything really wrong with it personally. Like I talked to my parents about this shit. Like it's funny because I'm from Illinois, so I'm from like the sticks, the cornfield. My town had 3,500 people in it, 3,600 people growing up. So like very small town. So my parents are still kind of that way, right? My dad's like a rebel. My mom's she's funny as shit. But it's funny telling them, I'm like, yeah, I'm just making, because what I do is I take a coffee grinder and I'll just load it full of mushrooms and I'll grind it all down to like literally like a powder. It's like a real fine powder. And I buy little gel capsules on Amazon that are empty. And I've only done this is the first time I've ever done it. And I just weigh them out. And I weigh them out to 0.3 grams and I fill them up. And now I just have a jar full of microdoses, really.
When you were in, how many people do you think were doing drugs? What percentage?
Man, of Anglico?
Let's say, what percentage do you think are doing it on a semi-regular basis?
Like just in
general.
I don't know, man, because I didn't really know anybody. I knew like my old neighbor when I was in. He was like, "Hey, you want to do some mushrooms?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm good." Because his wife did them.
I don't even know if you can test for mushrooms.
I think so. What I've heard is that it comes back as a like a food poisoning kind of deal. Because I think that's what
I think
the
it tests in your hair, right?
Yeah, but the Marine Corps doesn't test your hair.
No.
Spinal
I don't
tap.
know. I would say the percentage of Marines doing drugs, I think, is very minimal.
I had a guy say it was over 25%. I'm like,
I don't think
I was
that.
like, I don't think so, man.
That's pretty excessive.
I was like, maybe you're hanging out with a group you shouldn't be hanging out with.
And I was on two different. I mean, I was in Okinawa and then Anglico. So they're kind of the units that I were in were two very different units. Like I never really experienced the basic Marine Corps, like the whatever. But I would even say 10 to 15% maybe. I think it's small for sure.
See, I feel like it'd be less than that too.
I'd say 10% is a solid number where you're like, because how many Marines are there now? 100-something thousand? How many? What
186, 200.
Yeah, we're like 185.
So that's what, like 18,000 Marines out of the entire Marine Corps.
Oh, we just went down too because they just took away a lot of dudes.
Tanks
Yeah.
is gone.
Yeah.
So I'd say a small amount. if I had to
Actually,
guess.
that's how the 6-1 field got the extra master guns.
Oh, is there another one?
7 master guns is now on the 6-1 field.
I don't know any of that.
Because there's no promotion. I mean, promotions are way too slow already in the 0861 field.
Oh, speaking of which,
right.
congratulations to all the Master Sergeant, First Sergeant selectees from this week.
Do we know any of them?
All those company men.
Those company men.
You know when is old Sammy Moon gonna get out?
He's got a couple more years.
He's
Really?
Still hanging. He's got to be up there.
He's Master Guns now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's been Master Guns for a
I
minute.
thought so.
Yeah, he's going to hit
He's
30.
got a couple more years. Oh, he's going full 30.
He's going to hit 30 in
He's going 30.
I think he's just under 2 years, somewhere around 2 years, I think.
yeah.
Something like that.
Man,
You
someone
stopped right at 20, right?
Yeah, 20 and some change, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone stole Top Luna misplaced his Gore-Tex top one time at like an Anglico. Do you remember that? And he had everybody in formation, and
He was
he's a real
pissed.
chill guy, but he's like when he's pissed, and he got fucking heated.
Really?
He's like, okay, don't know where my Gore-Tex is. It was just here in the COC 20 minutes ago or whatever it was. He's like, go ahead and stay in formation, stand by till we find that, and then 20 minutes later comes back. We get back in formation, and he's like shaking at this point. He's like, where the fuck is my Gore-Tex?
Did someone who had it?
No, people were bringing up their own Gore-Tex. I was like, listen, you can have mine. We just want it. Nobody knows where it is. And, I mean, if someone did really take it, they didn't step forward.
They probably chucked it off.
But
like,
in my mind,
under
I'm
a truck
like,
somewhere.
dude, I don't think, because he had a master, he was saying at the time he was master sergeant, he had a master sergeant rank on it. So he was like, listen, someone took my rank off of there and stole it, or maybe he misplaced it. I'm thinking Top Luna misplaced it. I don't fucking, dude, I mean,
It happens.
just because you're a top doesn't mean you can't can't lose things.
I've told the story about being at 10th Marines and out at Fort Bragg Did you ever go to Bragg?
I was lucky enough to never go to Bragg.
Yeah. So
I was deployed every time.
Fort Bragg would be like Steel Night on the West Coast kind of deal. Not as involved, though. It's only artillery. The entire regiment would go out there. Anyway, Sergeant Major, one of the battalion Sergeant Major for 210, I don't remember his name, dropped. I found a flashlight, one of the copper, what do they call them? The ones with the flexible
Moonbeams?
heads? No, the flexible head one.
The little square ones?
The ones that's like $200, you know, the little brown.
Yeah,
the ones you get from
square
SIP?
ones, right?
Sidewinder.
Yeah.
Sidewinder.
Those are just ridiculous.
Those are garbage.
They suck, too.
And they suck.
Oh, really? I liked it.
Well, I
It was
mean,
better than the fucking Moonbeam. I mean,
okay, but we live in the world of Amazon where you can get like a badass flashlight.
I just always use a headlamp.
It's true.
But anyway, I was walking out to the OP from the FSCC tent, and I found one on the ground. And I'm like, oh, shit, because I didn't have one yet, you know, because these were like a new thing at SIF. And I was going
back in the
around.
day.
I was going around everyone. I was like, hey, is this yours? Is this yours? And everyone's like, no. And I'm out on the OP, and we're hanging out, and Sergeant Major and the CO showed back up. And Sergeant Major comes down to the OP. I don't remember his name either. Yeah, I think he ended up being a good dude. He came down to the OP, and he's like, hey, I heard you have my flashlight. And I was like, oh, hey, that was your Sergeant Major? I was like, okay, good to go. I was a sergeant. I was like, all right, good to go. I'll go grab it here in a second. Like, we were in the middle of some missions. And the mission's finished. I went back. My gunny was chilling there, and there was like 5 or 6, less than 10 people on the OP, officers and, you know, the enlisted guys. I go back, I find the flashlight, and I tie 550 cord to it. And put like 10 feet, I wrap it up, and I brought it back to him. I was like, hey, Sergeant Major, here's your flashlight. I was like, I tied some 550 cord to it so you don't lose it again. And all the Marines were like, oh my God, what is Sergeant Kramer doing? But he took it. He was, you know, he's like, he gave me that look like, you motherfucker, but he was cool about it. You know, but,
You're lucky he was cool about it.
hey, man.
Brandon,
It's
would
something,
not have
would you
been-
not do the same thing to one of your guys?
We used to duct
Yeah,
tape. We used to
100%.
duct
Yeah,
tape shit
fuck
to
yeah.
everybody. Remember those days?
He was cool about it. He wasn't a douchebag about it. So
When you would lose something or drop something, you'd get it fucking duct taped to you.
They used to.
I don't know. I never lost anything.
The old Delta
Paul.
guys used to
Let me
write serial numbers like on rocks and shit. So they,
Oh,
like,
really?
I remember what's his name. Man, a couple of the boots that came in. We talked to him on Facebook all the time. Anyway, they gave him a rock with a serial number, like a big old fat ass rock, and he had to carry that thing around for like 2 weeks. But I
Keep
don't know if you
fucking
can do that
around.
now. Yeah, pretty much nuts. I mean, you know who we 550 corded a canteen to him, and he still lost it. He had a piece of 550 cord with no canteen at the end of it.
He had a canteen 550 cord to him because he wasn't drinking water.
So we had to give a water log. We're like, hey man, you're not. We're coming to find out like he would go 2 days without drinking water. Like I'm not even. Man, I wish I could.
What's he, a fucking tortoise?
I wish I could really.
You know him.
Yeah, you know him for sure.
Yeah, nutsack.
I'm going to show you a photo of him, and I just want to see your facial expression when I show you this photo of him. And I know you know what photo I'm talking about.
I emailed him back. Guy sent me an email. He's
going to listen to this.
That's fine. He came. You know what? And I'll put it out there. He emailed me. He's like, hey, I heard you talking about me on the podcast. I'm sorry I was such a piece of shit. You know, I didn't want to dishonor the unit and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, man, just do your thing, man. Like, quit living in the past. If you feel bad about it, quit. Don't even worry about that shit. Just do better for the future, man. Like, honor your family name and honor yourself and just do good things. You know, he's a great guitarist. Not everyone's a good Marine. Some people just are shitty Marines. He's one of those people. It just happens. But he's a good guitarist. So maybe he should focus on doing something with that. But, you know, I'm not going to tell a guy, I'm not going to be a dick to him, like, since he reached out to me and he heard us talking about him on the podcast.
You're right.
But, hey, man,
take this
opportunity of doing good.
But here's the goddamn deal. Here is the fucking deal.
I know, you're angry.
You know what? The past is the past, right? And I know you're going to listen to this, and I want you to hear every word I say. Here's the deal. You know who we're talking about. Am I allowed? Can I share that photo right now?
I'm not going to show it on
Okay,
this.
fine. I won't show it to everybody. But
Well,
if you're going to be that kind of person, if you're going to be that kind of person when you were in, I get it. The past is the past. You can move on, right? For you, that even like the stuff that I did in the military where I'm like not that happy about, I'm like, whatever, dude. It's over with. There's literally no point in living in the past. I'm going to just now, I'm a different person now. I'm not in the military anymore. But fuck, man, when you put that thing back on and you look the way you looked and you don't even shave and you don't even, how did you get?
He took a photo in his dress blues and it looks real.
How
bad.
did you even get an alteration
He
company
sent it to me and I didn't even realize it was him. I was like, "Who's this? What is this stolen valor photo?"
How the pocket? His pocket was all fucked up in one of the. I can't even. You're telling me not one person there was like, wait a second.
I don't really get the wearing your uniform after you got out thing.
I don't really get it either. I get everyone. I get maybe no. I mean, I would get maybe if there was a special occasion, like say you went to a, like if my grandfather was in the military and he passed away, I'd probably throw on my blue. You know, there's very very minimal occasions where you should, and I feel like in honoring someone's death or something like that, those are valid reasons. But to go to a wedding and throw that on, you're out now, I believe.
Wedding. Why would you wear
Show him the photo. Show him the photo.
Oh God,
it's
damn
a bad photo, and you know what I'm saying. Like I agree with you. Like if you look like shit, don't put the uniform on.
So to come back all around, I'm saying you were in the military, you're out now, whatever. You just opened up a whole new fucking can by doing what you just did, throwing that. You now have said, hey, come back at me after 2 years or 3 years not talking to me. Here's another chance to tell me what to do. Like, God damn it.
I always think about the impression I'm giving off. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to bring a bad name to like the uniform or something like that. I would
and
never
that's
try
what I'm
to
saying.
fit in
If
my
there was
blues.
another Marine there, say a Marine that had gotten out, or a Marine from like Vietnam, anybody who would have saw that would be like, you need to take that shit off and throw it away.
Yeah.
You need to do something with your
bad.
face.
It was pretty bad.
God damn it. Now
Will you hand me that bottle of whiskey now that you're getting all fucking worked
I'm
up over
fucking riled, man. Because Paul Smith, let me tell you, I hate very few people in this world. Like I'm not a hateful person at all. But I'm here to tell you that I fucking hate him. I'm not even playing. I know you're gonna listen to this, and I want you to hear me. I fucking hate you.
Wow, man. Strong.
I'm not a hateful person by any means. I don't carry that shit
He
anywhere.
was his NCO. He had to deal with them and all the bullshit.
There's a couple instances
True.
where some shit happened where I was like, you fucking suck.
You know what? It just proves it takes all kinds. You know, there's
You know,
every
you
kind of
got a
person
guy
in the Marine
pass
Corps.
away on deployment, and then you sleep through his funeral. Meanwhile, the guy who wanted to go to the funeral is on duty that wanted to switch with you so he could go to his funeral, and you don't even show up that morning, and you sleep through because, and your reason when we wake up is because you were tired. Like, that's the kind of shit where, like, when you disrespect another human's life,
Yeah,
that's where I'm like,
yeah.
all
We
right,
had a
man.
guy. We had a guy commit suicide on ship, and they had a memorial service.
And he didn't go because he said either way, he didn't show up.
He
He's
slept
supposed to show
through
up.
it.
He slept
Yeah.
through it. Another guy who had worked with this guy was on duty that day, wanted to go to the funeral or the memorial, but he was on duty, so he can't. So they're like, hey, could you switch with this guy so he can go? And this gentleman said, no, I'm going to attend to it, so I can't do duty that day because I'm going to go to the memorial. That next morning, he didn't go to the memorial. He slept through it because he said he was tired. So when you disrespect somebody at that level, that's a level you can't take that back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a photo of this man in his fucking blues.
Oh.
Oh, that's a can of. Hang on. Oh shit. Hang on. You're gonna fucking. I'm not going anywhere. He says, "No, we can carry on."
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm sorry. Even if you're out, if you're gonna put that back on, you should at least shave.
And you should at least look the part.
And be not that.
All the thing you had to do was just shave.
Oh.
Look at that shit. It's the shave that gets me. It's because the rest of your body.
It's a really bad neck.
If you've
beard.
gained a bunch of weight or whatever, you don't really whatever. It does. That's hey, you're out now. But if you're going to do it and you don't even have the fucking integrity to shave your goddamn face, and it's like it's come the fuck on, man.
People are zooming in on the fucking YouTube channel.
All I'm saying is that right there, you should at least shave your face. That's what makes me the
gonna have to
maddest
blur that
about
out.
everything. That's what makes me the most angry about the entire thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I'd be pretty fucking pissed if I saw that in real life.
And then you get to that level. Anyway, he had a canteen tied to him. He didn't.
Oh yeah, that's what started this.
We were having to do a water log because he wasn't drinking water. There'd be days where he would literally go without water, and we're like, "Fuck, dude, you're not even
like a tortoise.
You're not even doing the basics." So we had to tie a canteen to him, and he would fucking lose the canteen, but the 550 cord would still be on him. So we're like, "How in the fuck is that even possible?"
Dude.
Defies science.
So, and back to
Paul
what I was
Smith.
talking about.
He's a fucking magician.
I did that to the sergeant major because you would do that to anyone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or
and
I
the
think
sergeant
you
major
should.
would do that to you.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
You would hope that he could take it.
And I think it's bullshit that we treat people that are higher rank differently just because they're higher rank, like officers and stuff like that. We had our master guns when I was with 3-6 when we went to Afghanistan. He lost his NVGs on the way there. And there was an investigation and stuff. He was the ops chief, you know. But it was never like everyone kept it on the down low and everything. And I'm like, dude, if that was one of the Marines, no one would be off of work or there would be no stopping until those were found. And then we would all be told that we're pieces of shit. But because it's master guns, like we're just going to keep it on the DL. Like that's fucked up, man.
What happened with those weapons that went
With 3-6, I don't
Yeah.
think those are ever recovered.
Never?
I don't think so.
Did anybody get relief for that?
Yeah, they did. You know, the shitty part about that was actually the battalion commander. I actually knew the battalion commander. He was a good friend of mine.
Really?
Good dude, actually. Really, really solid guy. Obviously, he's a battalion commander. He has nothing to do with the weapons being lost.
Of his lieutenant.
But just because he's the dude in charge, someone's going to be held accountable, which kind of sucks for his career because he was actually a pretty good guy. He knew his shit. He was with me in Bahrain.
That's one of the major downfalls of being an officer. You don't even have to be on location when something fucked up occurs, but you're in charge, so it's your fault because your training plan didn't reflect those.
That's just being in the military in general. Like you just got to. It's like the mass. You got to.
You're
accept
gonna eat it because the dickhead on your team.
Yeah,
is
it would happen in Okinawa all the time. We would have a guy we had one time a guy he was in the Air Force. He was on a layover, got hammered. It wasn't even stationed in Okinawa. Got hammered in Futema. Broke into someone's house, I think. Slept in their bed or something weird.
What kind of layover is this?
He had an overnight layover.
Yeah.
He was going to be there for 24 hours or whatever. And he got hammered. And I think he broke into someone's house and like slept in their kid's bed or something pretty bad. Shut us all down for like 3 months. No off base, no drinking.
And this guy just
for
got
2
on his
months.
next flight.
This guy wasn't even stationed here. But how could I have personally stopped that man from doing that?
I think I remember hearing about something like that happening where there was a Navy dude, a reservist, on like his 2 weeks of, annual training or whatever they call it when they're on for 2 weeks of the year. And he was out there in Okie and raped some chick. And the same thing, like it shut everybody down. And it's like a dude that's not even from there.
The thing is, they'll get everybody together. Like the base commander will come out. Everybody will just come out, grill you on, this is what you do. And I'm like, homie, how in the fuck am I supposed to stop this man? That's not even on the same basis. I don't even have a car to drive there because you won't let me have a car.
Who's his battle buddy?
How the fuck am I supposed to stop that from happening?
Do you guys have to go out in pairs or can you go out by yourself out in town?
When you got a gold card, you can go out by yourself. A red card holder, you got to have a buddy.
You want to explain that?
So I actually I still have my gold card.
Wow.
So to have a gold card at the time, you had to be an NCO. And even if you were an NCO, you had to get signatures from your immediate command, from my comm shop, my lieutenant. It'd have to go over to...
That you're a responsible human being.
What does the gold card get you?
So red card, you'd have to have a buddy. You can go off base. Obviously, you'd have someone with you, and you had to be back, I think, by 11. Or no, you had to be back by midnight. Gold card, you can go out by yourself and you didn't have a curfew. I believe that's what it was. It may have been 2 a.m. I think you had to be inside of an establishment. You had to be inside of a house. You couldn't be out in the streets past 2 a.m., I think it was.
Yeah.
But everybody that had a gold card kind of knew, like, whatever, dude. Because we'd all go party down in Naha or some American Village or
Party
something
in
where
Naha.
even if no matter what rate you were, you couldn't be out. So if you were an American station there, technically after 2 a.m., no matter if you're a gunny or who you are, you can't be out on the streets. But you'd go to these American villages and shit and party like in the side streets, right, where everybody would be out partying past 2. So the gold card is what you're striving for, because then you can almost be like a normal person. You can go out.
So no junior Marines could get that.
You could, but you had to be like exemplary. You had to be like, your whole command had to sign off on it. You were like, I think maybe 1 or 2 junior Marines in all of CLB 31, 31st MU. Maybe one of them had it.
What about junior officers?
I think they got gold cards right away. I mean,
really?
They're officers. They're,
Robert Miller, what color card did you have?
Jesus.
Probably got the platinum card. Like, just don't even don't even talk to that dude. He's crazy.
So there was like a whole different. You were always striving for the gold card.
Yeah.
And the gold, I mean, but then it would shut down, right? Because it was kind of like the coronavirus deal. Like, you never knew, oh, hey, now we're letting, corporals can get cars right now or whatever it is. Something would happen. And then all of a sudden, oh, no more corporals get in the vehicle, And
so what happens if you buy a car and then they're like, hey, sorry, no more NCOs can't have cars anymore?
Then you're not fucking driving your car.
Do you sell it or can you keep it stored on base?
Dude.
What a crazy world. I never went. Were you stationed there or just training?
Stationed there. Long time ago.
Really? Same deal? Gold card, red card?
Nope.
No, probably. That was back in.
Nope. Back then it was.
We were fighting them at
He's
that
like,
point.
we took over Okinawa.
Yeah.
it was free game back then.
Yeah.
I was 19 years old. Dude, I would come back on base. Everybody would know we were underage, but it was different back then. Like, I'd have my buddies carrying me back to the gate, and the guards be like, "You can take care of him." They're like, "Yeah, we got him." And they're like, "All right, good to go."
So as long as someone's like, "We're good," like you're coherent
You
enough.
got one thumbs up from the whole group. All right,
He's got him.
Yeah.
You go to get what's his little those taco rice? Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Where was your drinking spot? What was your? Every unit has like a spot, right?
Oh shit, I can't remember. I don't think it's there anymore. But I know my tattoo parlor was.
There was Kintown, Gate 2.
We would go to Gate 2 a lot.
American Village. Naha was big. Naha was like the 40 minutes away. You had to get in a honcho to go there.
Are NCO clubs and stuff big on bases? It seems like that would be a bigger thing there.
They were nice. So like the Palms was like the on base. That's where we had like the ball was always at. So for Camp Hansen, we had the Palms, and that was like where the bar was at. Because everybody gets back at midnight, and then everybody from midnight till 3, I think it was, or 2, the Palms would be packed full of people. Imagine like coming back on base on Camp Pendleton and having a bar there where everybody would. But since you're in Okinawa, that's the only place you can really go on base. So it was like the happening spot to be. And then inside of the Palms were the NCO clubs and shit. But none of anybody that we knew would go there.
There was a time on base. Even here it was cool, like the Double Deuce.
I hear about that.
The Double Deuce used to be.
I didn't experience any of that.
Like pretty popular place.
Where was that at?
Double Deuce, 22 area. So cross street from the flight line.
Yeah,
really.
Is that
Deuce.
still there? The building's still there?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still.
Isn't that over by where the jail or the
close to the
jail,
Woodbrig?
whatever.
Yeah, the E
Brig.
Club's over there. It was just an E Club, and like people would come from out in town, like guys, girls would come from out in town.
That's
to go
what
party
Tracy
there.
Offit was saying. That's what Offit was talking about. Del Mar. He's like, that was one of the top clubs in Southern California.
That's
the Del Mar
nutty,
E Club.
dude. Imagine that.
He said they made it into the Playboy top clubs list.
Whoa.
That the Del Mar E Club did while he was
I
there.
wouldn't doubt it.
I'm like, really? He's like, dude, everyone from all over the base would go to the Del Mar E Club on the weekend.
I think the thing as well is that a lot of people didn't have cars back then too. That's what he was talking
Yeah.
about. Because I remember him saying that it was
They all took the bus. Yeah, they all took the.
Not only were you restricted by like being able to actually go somewhere, this was a place to go to. Like, imagine if we were in the 41 area and there was a bar there and none of us had cars. We'd kind of all flock to it.
Well, I know for a little bit they talked about keeping the bar in the Eagle's Nest open, having the duty run on the weekend, so guys could just, if they wanted to have a beer, hey, let's at least be responsible and have it at the unit. You can just come there and drink. Were you there when they were talking about that?
No, but they tore that thing apart.
Yeah, So I just had David Armstrong come on episode 2 episodes ago, and he just took we were talking about this. He had this first ANGLICO FMF, or not FMF, the Subunit 1 sign from Vietnam that was on the door of the unit's door or hooch in Vietnam. Got taken to the Del Mar location when ANGLICO was in Del Mar. They tore that building down. Before they tore it down, they told everybody to take everything out of it, and someone found this sign on a pile of trash, and he kept it, not knowing what it was. He just knew it was the first ANGLICO sign. Kept it, and then found out that it was from Vietnam and all this stuff. Anyway, like a couple months ago, he came back out here and gave it back to the unit, and they have it hanging up. And he was saying that they took the old bar top off that Merritt had built.
It's in the back.
And it's hanging on the wall.
It's in the back.
In that office when you first walk into the left?
No, so it wasn't not the office. They actually did. That looks more like a generally kind of cigar smoking area. It's what it looks like now. But the other little room, that used to be like the training rooms.
Yeah.
We had all the those little things. They
had games.
Hooks.
Yeah.
It's back there.
Okay.
That's where I saw him at least when I was there.
How long were you there?
About a month ago. I was there for McFarland's promotion.
Is the bar still there then?
Yeah, they're just redoing the top.
It makes sense.
Did they keep all the old patches and stuff that were in that top, or what they do with it?
So the top itself, that slacker job they had,
Yeah.
that was kind of very bubbly.
Yeah.
Sorry, Merritt. It could have been a better job.
Merritt got pissed when I told him they took the bar top out.
I would get too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he could have done a better job.
Right.
So it's in like two pieces. It's still like the
That's cool though.
L shape, but it's not all chopped up, but it's still in one big piece in the back.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool that they hung it up. I didn't put a patch in that.
I always wondered, I wonder what in 10 years from now, if in 20 years, if this room's still going to be the same, if they're going to keep it what it is now.
I'd like to go up there and do a podcast.
Because we weren't supposed to do any of that. None of that was supposed to be.
Well, that room, the building was brand new, and it had just the warranty on it had just expired.
No, I don't even.
So they had to wait. They had to wait for that before they could do any kind of improvements.
I think that they did all that before any of the, because that building was just built 4 years before.
Yeah,
he came in and did all that. So I think that.
That was brand new. We moved in there. So
yeah,
shit.
Were you there when we moved in there?
I thought that's
we were in the trailers. You were there
when we were in the trailers?
Yep. Over there by the pool.
What year did you get to ANGLICO?
Early 2017.
No, 2013.
I mean, yeah, 2013. I'm sorry. 2013.
It'd be 2012
So I got there
or
in
13.
I got there in May 2013.
About the same time I got there.
Yeah, we had the trailers right there, and the trailers, it was 1st Brigade, 2nd Brigade. Were you there when we had 3 brigades?
Yep. Because I took over. Because remember, I took over first, and it was me and Squirrel. Squirrel was my platoon commander. He was
I think I remember him.
He was the Cobra pilot.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Camp Chrisman. He was filling in for. He was filling in for as a platoon commander.
He was actually part of the team that did the first maps on a tablet. They were using iPads or something like that, and I think they tried to do. Get that to work with Apple. They contacted Apple to be like, hey, we want to build something for this. And Apple's like, no, we don't do that. We're not helping you kill people efficiently.
Yeah. I like him now, but when I first got there, man, me and Squirrel, we fucking bumped heads.
He gave me
I don't think I remember meeting.
Real skinny guy, kind of Asian dude.
Super smart guy. I mean,
he's Asian.
Well,
well, he is Asian.
And he was always taking pictures.
Was he? I mean, I can't say anything. I do that.
Oh man.
Oh.
Hey Cosmo, why are you beeping at us, bro?
What is happening
You're
here?
playing with your cable down
Technical difficulties, man.
So
Jiminy
right before he got out, he wanted to go out with the bang, right? So we were doing. I was the RSO. We were doing fast rope from the 22s.
Oh, really? I never did that.
Oh,
I've heard it's horrible.
It's horrible.
I've seen the rope.
It's
First man's
It's
got
like a 45
It's
angle.
horrible.
The first guy's fucked, right? Because he's got to go down, and he's just.
So the first guy should be the heaviest guy.
I've always heard it's supposed to be the heaviest guy,
It
and
is.
then they are supposed to lay on the rope.
Squirrel wanted to be the number one guy, so this was his I'm going to get out. I want to be the first guy down the rope.
Yeah.
And Squirrel is built like this.
Yeah, he weighs like nothing.
Yeah, so he goes down the rope, and he can't even get down. So he's kind of like shimmy his way down
because you're just not heavy enough.
He's not heavy enough, and
Fuck.
he finally gets to the bottom, and so he rolls over on the rope like, what happened?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Am I still on?
I can't hear anything.
No.
Yeah, hold on. Man,
What in the dickens are you doing over there?
The Dickens.
dude, it's always something, man. I need a producer.
What is going on right now?
Is this because we're talking about squirrel?
No,
Look what you
you're
did,
good.
squirrel. Look what you did.
Is it
wherever
like
you
When
are.
this disconnected, it reset on GarageBand.
So can you still hear us?
You are not recording on. Yes, you're recording on one thing, but not another. I have two programs going because of these kind of issues.
Are
Try to
we?
back it up.
So are we in the Matrix?
Are we? Are we
Is
in
this
God
the Matrix?
damn Matrix?
Okay. So that one is 1, 2.
Yeah, I didn't know you were there from 2013.
Yeah.
We got there at the same time then.
Right after I left Lejeune.
So you were there when like Silva was there.
Uh huh.
Major White. Well, Major White was there for a minute.
Yep. Oh, Eddie.
Who else was there? You were there. Oh, so you knew Dave
Hey.
Moriente.
Yo, fuck.
You knew Moriente.
Yeah, y'all sent him to my. Am I on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
out
you are.
now.
Am I on? I don't hear
Yeah,
I
myself.
you
can't
are.
hear.
You are. Go ahead.
He's out now though.
He came over to my brigade. Yeah.
God bless that human.
That son of a bitch had a rattlesnake in his locker one day.
God damn
like-
it.
Did somebody put that there on purpose?
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, but Squirrel. So Squirrel's the first one down the 22, right? Down the rope. He gets to the bottom, rolls over, and he's just not heavy enough to hold this thing down. So he's at the bottom of the rope just like flapping
Just
like a
getting
fish.
fucked up.
Just getting fucking just like gone. And so we put our heaviest guy's number. So Squirrel's like, I want to be the number one guy down. So I took the heaviest guy who was supposed to be the first guy down. I was like, hey, dude, you're number 2. You got it. When you get to the bottom, pancake him. So hold the rope down. He's like, got it, Gunny.
Who was number 2?
Ah, fuck. Who was it? Oh, shit. It was someone from Bravo.
So was he Asian?
No. Who
Soto?
was it?
I think, or not Soto.
Or was it Breaky? Breaky's pretty heavy.
Jesus,
too.
Breaky's a big boy.
It might have been Breaky.
Breaky was the one who was
Might have
pissing
been
in
Breaky.
Zool's front yard with us the one time. On the fucking party
Fucking
bus.
Zool.
So number 2 guy goes down. I think it was Breaky, actually. And just like pancakes the shit out of Squirrel.
I've seen videos of fast roping on 22s.
Hey, it's back
and
on.
It looks, I've never done the 22s though, but you could just tell that rope is just all fucking over the place.
Yeah.
It's ungood.
One time, Captain McDonald's, we were at the tower practicing over at Marsaw.
Talking about Jack McDonald.
And McDonald goes, all right, we're going to practice as if we're on 22s, and takes the base of the rope and stretches it across the asphalt. So now the rope is going at a diagonal over the asphalt, and we're like, hey, man, I don't think we should be doing this. This isn't in the playbook.
What are we learning from this?
And he's like, let's go. So we sent Lane and Shillem. We're like, hey, man, you guys got to go. Like, let's get down the rope, and they like rock, paper, scissors. And I think Shillem was the one to go down first. And he's got no weight to him. And McDonald's like flashing big old McDonald's over there just because he's
He's a
Yeah.
big dude.
big as fuck. And so that's how we practice going off those ropes.
Oh, I ate shit on the fast rope. You know the Marsoc Tower? It was like 40 feet.
Yeah.
Oh,
How tall was that? Is
You
that
ate
what it was?
shit off
40
that
feet.
tower?
Yeah.
How?
So it was one day, it was, what was his name?
Man, I thought that was tall.
Captain Chris, the guy that was on the Punisher.
Oh, Walker.
Oh, yeah,
Walker. I think he planned it out because he just came back from Hearst course, right? So you go like 100 times slick, 100 times put a little bit extra on, 100 times put a little extra on, and eventually you're like your full battle rattle kind of deal, right?
100 times.
I'm exaggerating.
So we did it one time.
I'm exaggerating.
All right,
but
you're good. Put all your gear on. You'll be fine.
We haven't done
we-
it yet.
we went down quite a few times. Like my grip was done.
Yeah, it does get old.
My grip was done. So we're going down the rope again, and my pack got stuck.
Oh, in the hellhole?
Yeah.
Kicking you.
Pack got stuck. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, get my. I can't hold on anymore. My grip is so done. I'm like, get my fucking pack, and the dude's just down there, like just
Oh
kicking
my
shit out of your
God.
pack. So it finally gets off, and I started going down the rope, and I'm swinging. My dumbass, like,
Wait,
I'm-
is this live or is this the hellhole? Or is this the Marsoc Tower?
this is the Marsoc Tower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has a hellhole on it.
Yeah.
The simulated one.
So my dumbass, I keep hitting the wall because I'm swinging so much. So what do? I was like, oh, let me just brace myself. So I took my feet off the rope and kicked off the wall to kind of stop myself. So now I'm horizontal and lost all my grip. I just go zzz, straight down, and just bow.
How'd that feel?
Pretty sure I had a concussion.
Yeah.
But that's the what's on the base of that? Is that the rubber?
They have those. Yeah, they have that shredded rubber stuff.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
Not much.
I don't think it's very thick.
Not much.
Yeah. There's like one layer.
Yeah, pretty
Then
much.
concrete. Like, let's put broken glass and concrete underneath this.
That's
It's
wild.
like it's not as thick as the pits behind Anglico.
I don't think so.
Those are pretty deep with rubber.
Yeah, those are also filled with Merritt's dog's piss while he was building the bar every day. Because obviously at Anglico you can just own a dog and live in the barracks with your dog.
It's true.
So his dog he just brought to work every day for 3 months. He would just piss.
And it would piss in the
100%. I'm like, Merritt, your dog's peeing in the
McMap pit.
They'll figure.
Oh.
We
they'll
would always
figure it
fight the
out.
British back there.
Fuck yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Brits don't care about anything.
Nah,
They
drink their
man,
own
I tell
piss.
you what, what a cool experience it is because I still am friends with a lot of them on Instagram, and I've talked to actually a couple of them recently. I'm like, hey, Lacey and I are thinking about doing like a international trip here when this is all done.
Oh, dude, that'd be
They're
awesome.
like, yeah, dude, for
Yeah.
sure. You can stay at our place. You can.
That's cool.
So it's cool to have these friends, but every year that they would come, so for I think it was 4 years in a row or 3 years in a row, same guys came. So you'd make a friendship, and they'd be like, all right, see you guys later.
Yeah, our 148 battery guys.
Yep.
One
for
year,
it, like Dutchie.
One year,
You know
Lewis let him borrow his fucking race Mustang that he built. You know,
Oh,
like that
really?
sick ass. He's got a Shelby GT, like written. Shelby signed it, and like a very well built car that he just let him take to Vegas one weekend. All the Brits
What?
took it. Yeah.
What? You let him take it to Vegas?
That's
Let him
a
take it to
little crazy.
Vegas.
Wow,
He was like, "Hey
Lewis.
guys, one night we
Wow.
all got all hammered, and I let him ride my motorcycle, like all sorts of crazy." Those guys.
The Brits, if you drank with the Brits, they were gonna be naked at some point.
So I remember
yeah.
coming into work one morning at 7:30 in the morning, I think it was, and one of them was naked on top of the grill right there at the basketball court, and the rest of them were hammered. And we had to hike probably 2 hours later after that, and those dudes, no problem.
those dudes were machines, man.
And
Well, you got to think all the 148 battery guys have gone through the commando course.
So when we were in
So-
Scotland, we ran that commando course, and there's pictures of Moose. I think I'm carrying Moose, or Moose is carrying me. When I was with Echo, and that fucking course is no joke. And at the end of it, you have to, like, there's like basically like a wire strung across this pool, and it's probably like 50
Oh, and you got to get on
yards.
top, right?
You got to get on top of this wire, and you got to shimmy across it. But like nobody fucking makes it because it's at the end of the entire course.
Yeah.
So imagine running the Oak course.
No, it's like in boot camp, the confidence course when you're doing that rope, and you're crawling across the top.
Yeah.
You're laying on the rope,
Right.
But they start on the bottom, and then they make them flip onto the
Right.
top.
That's exactly
which
what it
is
is.
insane.
But they make you flip onto the top when you're in the center of the pool.
Yeah.
And again, this is like running the Oak course times, like legitimately 5 or 6 times. That's how long it is. No, dude, probably 8 times. I mean, it's a very, very long course.
Don't church it up.
It's a very, very long course.
I've heard it's miserable. Well, you're talking about that's not the entire like commando.
No, this is
like,
the end of
curriculum.
it. This is the
Yeah.
end of this is the end of their version of the Oak course.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, you got to go across this rope, and then when you get done, you got to climb a rope, like 30 feet or whatever, and ding the bell at the top of it. But by the end, dude, by the halfway through the Oak course, your grip is like your forearms are fucked. So you have no strength. So anyway, what I'm saying is that when you get there, that's what they're ready for. They're already designed and ready. They've all made it past this. They have to just literally. So the guy there was a gunny that was there, the American Marine. He was stationed over there, and his whole job was to run the McMap portion and the Oak course portion of their training.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So it's funny because he's been there for years. So he was calling them mate. You know, they had like a different.
What a cool
slang.
gig.
There's a cool fucking
What a
gig.
cool
How do I get
fucking
that?
gig that guy. He
there a
was
contract
telling
job for
us.
that?
He was like, dude, I'm living. He's like, this is it. He's like, the per diem was out of fucking control.
I wonder how you get into that exchange program where you're doing that.
Yeah, I can speak English.
So
I speak British.
those dudes were nuts, man. So you'd get over there, you run this course, and you know everybody expects you to be. You're a Marine. You're the top dog. Like you. So we
Allegedly.
we literally had to like train before we even got there to be ready for. Hey, you're gonna be running like some pretty serious shit. And we didn't get to run one of their courses we were supposed to run. We didn't. You can look it up on YouTube. A portion of the course they have to crawl through a pipe that's half full of water, like a
Oh,
big
yeah.
like a
Oh, that's
12-inch
The Quigley.
industrial drain. We were supposed to run that, but we never ended up running it after we
How
got
long-
there,
how
whatever the
long's the
reason
pipe?
was. I don't
not
think
that
it's that
long.
long. I think it's 12 feet maybe.
You know the Quigley and
but it's
OCS?
still it's enough of a the course is pretty extreme.
Yeah.
So you get there and you're trying not to show your ass while you're there. But dude, those motherfuckers were hardcore. The reason that they can go out and drink all night and They would do what's the salt we would do with the Brits at the end of the day? The salt hikes and shit. We do the competition.
Yeah, the FIC challenge.
FIC challenge. They would do the FIC challenge. Half of them would be drunk. Half of them would be still partying from the night before.
I remember one of the dudes came up to the top of benchmark after they had to do a casualty carry for like a half a mile. They were doing getting hazed on the beach, and then they had to do a movement from the beach up to the top of benchmark. And everybody was dying. All these dudes are coming up and dying, except for like a couple of the Brits. And they like dropped their pack, got to the top, and started doing pull-ups on the pull-up bar on top of benchmark. Like, you guys are machines.
They are literal machines.
I was like,
and when
that's
you
awesome,
see the
man.
shit that they do over there, you're like, dude, I get it. I totally understand. The courses that they run are pretty extreme, dude. And a lot of the courses we were doing the high, like you had to get up maybe 20 feet up in the air. You had to climb up on this oak course kind of wooden scaffolding, and you had to like walk across these wooden planks, but you're up in the air. Imagine a jungle gym, like where you hang monkey bars.
Yeah.
But made out of wood, and it rains there 24/7. So the
Yeah.
wood's real slippery and slimy because it has a bit of mold, kind of like mildew growing on it. And you have to walk across. And I hate heights. I fucking hate heights.
Yeah, me too.
So this is like a real time where I'm like, you could easily fall. I don't know how the fuck nobody fell off this. You could easily fall off of this. And it's the same kind of texture as the McMat pits.
Did you see?
Ground up shit.
Have you been to Djibouti?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that's off of Arta Beach. That shit on the walls.
The French Foreign Legion. I
The
think.
French Foreign Legions have a fucking crazy course built into that wall.
Like, you fucking die. I'm pretty sure you die if you fall off that.
I don't know.
dude,
if I
it
ever
looks
saw
sketchy.
that.
It's up in the mountains. It's up in the mountains.
I was at Arta Beach, but I don't remember seeing that.
You know,
yeah.
it's
So
right
you-
off Arta Beach. Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
so you're
heading
driving-
into
What's that OP
You
that
drive
we
on
were
the
at?
road. You drive on the road to Arta Beach, and off to your right, up in the mountains, is that giant fucking course.
Yeah, you know when you go by the French Foreign Legion camp right there?
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, we're talking about, in Djibouti in Africa. There's a French Foreign Legion camp right on the water. The MEU comes in there and does training off Arta Beach. That's like the landing spot.
Isn't there a big concrete building that used to be there that's kind of fucked
It's
up
still
now
there.
with like a painting
It's
there?
there. It used to be
Is it
like
around that area?
Used to be like a restaurant or some shit, I think. It
Oh,
has
really?
all the paintings inside. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
European tourists still go out there.
How?
There was a group, I think, that came out there while we were out there.
Really?
Because they come out there and swim with the, what are those things called? The whale sharks or whatever the fuck they are?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's like the big thing to do right there in that water right off
Not in my
that.
house.
But across from the French Foreign Legion camp is built into this like stone wall is this obstacle course.
It's up in the mountains, man.
and it looks super sketchy.
I'll find a picture somewhere. I got it on my laptop, I think. I'll send it to you. It's up in the mountains. It's up.
Did you get to do it?
Oh, hell no.
I know some guys have gone out there and worked with those guys on the MEU. They do some cross training.
I think that we take safety in the Marine Corps and in America a little greater than I think other places do. Because, like I said, on that course that I was on, no shit, you could definitely fall off that and you're breaking your neck. Something's happened to you if you're falling from that height. And no one ever
maybe that's how they
fucking did.
weed people out.
And I'm thinking that that's how they weed. I ended up making it get across, but I had to literally be like, all right, dude.
They're like, damn it, Bob made it. We was hoping he
You,
was going to break his leg on this.
you need to get across this, and it's windy out, it's nasty out, and it's one of those things where like we should do this in the Marine Corps because you could probably weed out a lot of motherfuckers just from this obstacle course alone.
I remember doing the what was it? The confidence course where you would do
In
that
boot
kind
camp?
of stuff. Not in boot camp, but in MCT. We had a hurricane. I was in hurricane season when I was in MCT in Camp Lejeune or whatever it was, right off the air station there. Anyway, we had rain, so we didn't do any of those courses. Every time we were supposed to do one, it would like really bad rain the day before, and they're like, "It's too wet, we can't do it." I'm like, "What do you mean it's too wet?" Like,
what if we're at war and it's too wet?
yeah, like what?
That's where the safety comes. I think that other countries just do it a little different.
I was really let down by MCT, but that was me. But I also think
Justin's just a hard charger.
Well, I think that we're also harder on ourselves than a lot of people. It's probably really good training. I was just like, what the fuck?
All I remember from MCT is just fucking hiking everywhere.
Yeah,
The hiking wasn't even bad. You guys were both West Coast guys, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was different for you.
we had to do some mountains, some
Mountains,
obstacle train. Oh, I'm sorry.
hills,
What were you doing? I'm sorry.
walking around Camp Lejeune,
You did this. Oh, Lejeune. Apologize.
the flats of
I
Lejeune.
apologize.
And the bad thing is you still see people falling out,
Damn.
you know?
See, but did you guys hike with? You had
We had
females
females.
as well?
So when you got to
didn't have any of
MCT,
them.
you'd have integrated companies. Your training companies were integrated.
Y'all was integrated, Pappy.
Yeah. So and a lot of them would fall out. To be honest, like
Where's
it was,
Tracy Offit at for to be here? Because he thinks of the term integration probably a little differently.
Yeah, he was probably there for that.
He's probably there for the literal integration of humans. So
When did he
All right,
join?
guys.
Like in the 80s?
82.
82.
I
wasn't even born
I wasn't
yet.
even born yet. In
I was
82.
born in 82.
Jesus, you old fucks.
He went to
You
the army
old
first.
fucks.
Though.
He was already in the damn. He was already in the army when I was born.
How old are you?
38.
Oh, you're only 30. You retired at 38. You're living.
Man,
What are you doing now?
all the kids listening,
Work at PAC.
that could be you. Yeah, he's working down at TACP school.
What are the hours there?
Coming to teaching JTACs.
I don't know how to answer that. There's really no hours. It's pretty much just show up and do your job. There's a schedule. There's a schedule, and as long as you're there to kind of, prep yourself, prep what you need to prep, do what you got to do, and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of the main requirement.
As long as you get there and do your job, that's all I care.
Are you?
What? Oh, you're
do
on
you-
salary though. Then that's.
Do you
No matter what.
specialize
Yeah,
in
but
anything?
we're there like roughly 8 hours a day.
Do you specialize in any portion of it? Like you teach, like I want to teach these 2 classes or anything like that?
No, so I'm now a contractor, which is it's kind of nice in a way. I don't have to worry about the schedule. I don't have to worry about anything else except for what y'all need me to do. Hey, I need you to do this. I'll be there. Give them the little thumbs up. Like responsibility done. It's great.
That's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I forget in the military how much pre-work is done for the pre-work to even do the work. Like.
Range.
Hey, we're going to. It's
scheduling.
not just hey, we're going to the range. I'll see you guys there. We're meeting there at 2. All right, everybody get there at 2.
Yeah.
Dude, there's like days of
Well,
work.
and for them too, they're planning on dudes from 10 different units, like getting their TAD right to do all their shit.
Who has to do
and-
all that?
Yeah.
Who does the blunt work down there?
The active duty guys.
Yeah.
Fucking nerds.
Yeah,
Is there?
so- So we're there with the JFO contract. So the JFO contract is mainly what all the us contractors there for. But some of us were JTACs and have maintained our JTAC quals, and as I's and E's too. So we work with the TACP to kind of help them out as well too. For me, what I kind of bring to them is more of like the recent fleet perspective, since I had a third of the Marine Corps JTACs not too long ago. But really, we're the JFO contract. We take all the JFOs. Then when the TSP school goes and they say, "Hey, can you do the sims for this and this?" I'm like, "Sure, I can be there."
So do you ever have to travel outside of? Do you ever have to go down to Anglico or run sims anywhere else besides where
There's
you're
no
at?
MIT or anything like that.
Nope. So there is an
mobile
MTT.
training team?
There's one a year, which is usually in Hawaii. Which unfortunately, it's kind of mandatory to go to Hawaii for free.
Oh no.
That sucks.
See, doing all that traveling as
How
a
long you out
civilian's
there
gotta be
for?
way better.
It's a 2-week course, but you're probably there for a few
Got to get
days.
there for a week ahead to
Yeah,
make
I
sure
got a lot of
everything's in
play-
line.
But this year's no Hawaii. This coming year's not gonna be any Hawaii. I
COVID
think.
gotcha.
Well, no, it's the requirements. I think
Oh.
from 3MF they just weren't ponying it up. So we might be
What do you mean, like people?
So we might be doing MTT for 14th Marines.
What does that mean? 29 Palms, which is
fuck.
kind of like
Oh,
Hawaii.
God no.
Similar.
I don't know. There's the requirements are, and we need to have like an SAVT type thing. So like for instance, Nellis has one, San Antonio has one,
Camp Pendleton has one. Why travel?
because 14th Marines is over there.
Where are they out of? Where's their headquarters out of? Are they out of Louisiana?
Headquarters out of Fort
Ugh.
Worth,
Okay.
but their little units are everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's trying to find a centralized
Yeah.
spot.
For those that
to
don't know,
walk into.
14th Marines is the reservist artillery unit regiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long do you plan on staying there for? Do you enjoy working there?
Oh, I love it. It's great.
So you're still a designated
Sounds
JTAC?
Mm-hmm.
Who signed your designation letter?
The EWTG PAC-CO.
Do you still have like a
He's a
regular?
Navy captain.
So we used to track it. I actually still have my book over there, and we started tracking it on whatever that McTims, the training program.
I still have
How do
McTims.
you? So you still have a McTims
Yep.
account?
So I don't need to maintain the NavMac anymore, the TNR. I just got to maintain the MOA minimums.
You want to explain what you're saying for people that aren't JTACs?
Well,
The JTAC TNR is a
come to
training
my
readiness-
course at EWTG PAC, and we'll tell you.
Join the Marine Corps. Sign up.
So the training and readiness manual is basically tells you, hey, maintain all this stuff to maintain your qualifications as JTAC. But we have what's called a memorandum of agreement between, I think there's, what was the last time? 24 nations-ish, something like that. They've all signed this thing. Basically, it's a minimum standards of, hey, in order to become a schoolhouse, in order to become a certified controller, and to maintain your qualifications, here's what you need to do. So now I just need to do that instead of all the TNR stuff that the Marine Corps puts on us, because obviously the Marine Corps puts extra stuff on you like they always do, right? So I just got to maintain the MOA minimums now. And yeah, but I've got all my designation letters from EWTG PAC.
But you know, it's nice. It's nice chasing the Marine Corps TNR like controls though, because you just get more controls. You're just out working.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a pain in the ass, but it's also cool because you're just like, hey man, I got to go out and get this fixed wing. Let's schedule some
cooler
Harriers.
to do that without having to do all the prep work for it, right? You know, like when the SEALs
Just
would
show up, someone hands you the radio.
like the SEALs
You're
would show up
cleared
and
hot.
they just need to do their currency, and they would just literally show up in a POV.
Who?
Like a couple of times we were at MFA 7 actually. We'd have a couple Navy SEAls come out to just do some sort of currency or whatever. They would literally just show up in a POV, jump on the hooks on your radio, and be like, "Hey, you mind if I?" Yeah, sure. And then they would just do a couple controls, jump back in the van, they'd be gone. I'm like, how far? That's the shit.
That's living.
Because you're not doing any of the prep work. You're not dealing with that dude out in the
Yeah, but
hills.
No.
The
They have
average
contractors for that.
The
though.
average JTAC's not doing any of the prep work either. It's usually the guys like him, the JTAC E's.
I would say the average
WTIs.
JTAC is definitely doing pack outs with us. Is definitely getting the radios ready. Is definitely doing,
well, okay, yeah. I'm talking about like scheduling the range.
No, I'm
scheduling
talking about doing all the bullshit you
Fragging
need to
air and all
even get
that.
to the range.
Yeah.
Like that's welcome. That was the life I lived.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's good though.
And
So-
for those of you that are redoing the TNR in a couple weeks, don't fuck it up.
Yeah, he said they're making changes. What are the big changes that people can expect?
I don't know. I've heard so many different versions of the new TNR, how it's supposed to be. And obviously, no one's gonna agree. That's the thing I love about the Marine Corps. So we always have these underground conversations, like, all right, when we go to the TNR or to the conference, we're gonna make things this and this and this. Everybody needs to agree on this beforehand, so we can kind of just make it solid. Then you go there, and there's the one guy who's like, "Fuck you! I am not gonna do," you know. And then everybody wants to whoop his ass, and the nothing gets done that day, and because everybody's just fighting with each other. And I imagine that's how this TNR is gonna go.
How long have you been out for?
Officially since Halloween.
Halloween was the day
That's
that
crazy.
you.
How does it feel?
Terminal.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. How does it feel now that you're
You're
one of
fresh.
us?
It's great.
Fresh fish.
In the very beginning of it, yeah, you get that like, all right,
You
You get that "what do I do now" kind of feeling.
I did
Yeah.
actually. I did. Like I remember my first day at work. I was like, I should be doing way more than this. This is I don't feel right, you know. And then you just accept it.
You just
Yeah.
accept like, hey, to be a civilian is to be a lazy piece of shit.
And then I flew home one day, and you know what? I didn't have to tell anybody where I was going. It
Yep.
was great.
yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I didn't have to put in like a chit saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go see my family and my friends."
And that's the thing that's going on with this whole Corona thing right now. You know, all these dumb laws and
I
curfews
can't
and all
imagine
shit.
what it's like.
I'm like, to the rest of the civilians of the world, I'm like, welcome to the Marine Corps. Welcome to being in the military.
Yeah.
Where you honestly,
Where
that's
shit
why
doesn't make
I
sense.
think a lot of this shit doesn't even faze me because I'm like, yeah, this is. I'm only a little
on
over
the
2 years
mask.
out, so I can still 2 years out. I still kind of have the times where I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot that's what it's like being in, and then sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's like being. I'm still on that cusp of it.
Yeah.
So when they're saying, oh yeah, put on your mask, even though when you get up to go to the bathroom, none of it makes sense, but you're like, you're so used to it that you're like, fuck it, just do it.
Play the game,
Yeah.
get it over with.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, just play the game, dude.
For some shit.
but
But it's getting a little too far now.
that's where I can't imagine being in. Were you in during any of the? You were in then during the Corona.
Yeah, the initial quarantine was actually great. The
They have to go to
15
work.
the
My
I-15
neighbor did
the
2 weeks on,
I-15
2
was
weeks
wide
off.
open.
My neighbor was doing 2 weeks on. He works in submarines. 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off. Were they doing anything like that in the
Submarines,
military? Or
I
in
don't know
the
if I'd
Marines?
want to do a submarine.
Some units were, yeah. Some units were doing like a left seat, right seat.
Yeah,
Like-
I've heard
like
that.
Half's coming in on Monday, the other half's coming in on Tuesday.
What a
Some were
mess.
doing just like straight. What they call it? You work from home,
Oh,
teleworking.
yeah.
Uh,
Sergeants, majors across the
Ugh.
country were freaking out.
Oh yeah.
Dudes are popping on
Oh,
piss tests
yeah.
probably left and right.
Oh yeah.
So we, as fires guys, for those you don't know, fire supporters work every day in like dabbling in everything you can think about. We work our asses
The bastard
off.
child of the artillery world, of the infantry world, everything.
Oh, yeah. So we obviously had to work every day, but it was great because no one else was at work. So the I-15 was wide open. The gates were like...
Yeah, traffic's back on now. People were like, fuck it.
It's like, I'd say it's 80 to 90% back. It's definitely not all, because I'm in it every day.
Remember how it used to be Friday nights trying to get to San Diego on the
Fucking
5?
fuck, man. I'd say it's I'd say it's like 70% back. Because there's some days, even like driving to work in the morning, I'll drive to work in the morning. It still takes me the exact same time every day. And that's how I know that it's not back to normal. Because I used to have to turn on my GPS before I'd go to work and just kind of say, okay, it's going to take me 25 minutes or 30 minutes or what. Every day I know it's still the exact same
People that have never
time.
lived in California can't understand the California traffic.
And I got so used to using my GPS. Everywhere I go, I use GPS, but it's just because you never know when there's going to be an accident or there's going to be a reroute.
Waze comes in clutch a lot of times.
I use my GPS everywhere I go
This
because
dude,
of that.
Paul fucking drives 14 hours to work each way because he wants to live in Temecula and
That's
shit.
fucking insanity.
Yeah,
I have never
Marietta.
had to travel more than 25 minutes.
What's your longest commute been? Like 2 hours, hour and a half?
So from my old house in Murrieta to the office in Polgas was about an hour. No traffic, just under an hour. Right.
Fuck that, dude.
That's insane.
2 hours of your day
it was
in your
about-
car,
It was
wasted.
It was about 50 miles. It was about 50 miles.
Well, he's got the focus.
That's why I got the Focus.
Well, you switch from
got
your
45
didn't you have a truck?
MPGs,
You
dude.
switch from your truck to a nice.
That's why I got
what
rid of
Jerry
my truck to
did.
low Focus. Yeah.
Jerry was driving to 29 Palms from
He lives up
Temecula.
in Murrieta too. Yeah.
Or
Dude,
Marietta.
that's insane.
Fucking crazy.
But on the way home, it was ridiculous because I couldn't beat the traffic. So I'd be in traffic for 2 hours, 2.5 hours sometimes.
Get the fuck away from me. I would just sleep at the shop.
Sometimes I would. Sometimes I would.
Top
Fuck.
Sal, he lives up in his home is up in Montclair, which is out by Mount Baldy, Corona,
Dude.
that whole area.
Holy shit.
And
Sal lives up there?
Yeah, so he started. Well, I don't know if he does now anymore, but he started just getting he ended up getting a Geo Bachelor room, and he would just stay at work during the week and then just go home on the weekend because he was literally doing 2 hours each way in the car, and I'm like, you're crazy, dude.
Trying to see how far. So Murrieta to 29 Palms is an hour and 55 minutes.
Fuck
how many,
that,
how many
dude.
miles is that? 77 miles.
Hey,
That's
if you
just
are
from town
doing
to
that,
town.
make sure you're subscribed to the Former Action Podcast.
That's what Jerry caught up. Jerry was roughly driving 2 hours one way.
You can watch a
Every day.
movie
Jerry would
each
sleep there
direction.
sometimes.
You would have to. If you get off work after 7, you're talking like, okay, I'm going to drive home and I'll be home at 9:30. And then you got to wake up at, 3 to get...
No way, dude.
Well, I got a buddy.
That's insane.
Did y'all ever know Gunny Van?
No.
He was in Division Fires when he retired. He got a job up at was it McTog up there in 29 Palms.
Yeah.
But he lived in Temecula, so
No way, dude.
he'd make the drive.
It's not worth it. I mean, maybe for some people it is. To me, my time is worth more than that. To sit on the road 2 hours each way, that's just insane.
It just doesn't make sense. Like I said,
What
I've only
did
had
you-
to commute 25 minutes max to my job my
Yeah.
whole life.
Yeah.
And I drive
Because I always lived on base and
in
shit.
Plumbing and service plumbing. We're in a van. We drive, So I'm in a vehicle often now, and I couldn't imagine driving any more than I have to.
What do you do? What do you do for that long of a drive?
You go to your happy place.
Jerk off.
If you
in
just
public?
zone out
Oh, yeah.
every day, just
I would.
The traffic makes that hard to do.
So honestly, when I'm coming home, so in the mornings it wasn't bad 'cause I'd beat traffic, right? So I'm driving for the whole hour, which is not bad. You crank up the music, you kind of go in your zone. I would listen to I would listen to the 105.3 the show. The show is funny,
Wait, who's on that show?
Eddie, Sky, Thor.
Yes,
Eddie.
that's who I listen to in the mornings. Sky's a bitch, kind of. I just want to put that out there.
I was listening to KGB.
Sky was bitching about some. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
But in the evenings when I go home, there was times I would just not even turn on the radio at all, and I would just take that time, just get on my thoughts. Like, all right, I gotta do this, and there was times I'd be stopped in traffic, So I'd email myself taskers.
Oh my God!
God,
what a loser!
man.
What a loser!
Email. Just text. You got notes in your phone. It's 2020. What? You're doing the hardest thing possible to get notes back to yourself. I want you to know that. There's a literal notes tab in your phone for this exact reason.
Yeah, I would just have so much time, and I would leave the office at a time. I was like, you know what, I'm done working, because I would always, honestly, I could probably work until like, 10 o'clock at night. I had so much shit to do.
Doesn't mean you should.
Right, so I would leave, but I would look at my watch. I'm like, traffic sucks right now. I'm gonna wait for another 30 minutes, and I'd do like same thing you're doing. Look at Google Maps, like, yeah.
I like being able to walk out of Anglico and you could see the 5.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh shit, it's already backed up. I'm gonna wait 20 more minutes.
Yeah.
Or you just get a motorcycle, never deal with traffic ever again.
Well,
does that ever cross your mind?
Get run over.
I'm getting to that point.
Yeah.
Because you can get like a
what kind of bike?
get a cruiser and just
a Harley or something like that.
yeah.
Because I'm thinking about moving back up to Temecula.
I know a guy with Hayabusa.
Where do you
for
live
sale.
now?
Carlsbad.
Are you living where at in Carlsbad?
South, right on the Leucadia border.
So you're on just like a makeshift
That's a
like
good
pad,
spot.
or are you got a house there now?
We're renting a house.
Nice.
Nice. That's a nice spot. South Carlsbad.
Fuck
by
yeah.
Lucadia.
Right in Lucadia too?
Yeah.
All
What
the
do you
rich-
live off
all
of?
the-
Like
all the rich
what's
white people.
What's the closest exit like right there to you?
La Costa.
Oh shit! So you're decently south of Carlsbad then.
See, I
Nice.
moved down here because I was commuting to San Diego State, and it was like 40 minutes, and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm tired of doing this. Is a waste of
Fuck
of
that.
my time."
Yeah.
Then I moved down here, and now I should have just stayed in Oceanside, right next to the
No, 'cause
fucking
now you're
beach.
close to me, bud.
Well, yeah, but I was there. I was right next to the beach.
You had a sick.
So I'm
pad,
driving
yeah.
from there to Coronado every day. It's not bad. 40 miles.
Fuck that,
Dude, that's still far.
dude. Drive.
How's
not
it?
bad.
How's the
No
bridge in
way.
the morning? Have you seen that thing that separates the?
That is so fucking weird. The little machine that
Blew my
makes
mind.
3 lanes into 2.
For the
It pushes
longest
the concrete
time, I
blocks
thought that
over.
those
Yes.
blocks stayed in the truck, and I'm like, how in the fuck are they? Because I'm like, maybe they're Howell, and they
It looks like a
stack-
zipper.
Maybe they
It
stack
does
on top
look
of
a
each
zipper.
other.
That's what
It's
it
like a
is.
zipper
It's a
thing.
zipper.
It's exactly. It just kind of it has like a flapper. It's kind of like it just moves it one direction to the other direction.
I bet people that live on Coronado Island get so mad at rush hour time.
Well,
what I'm
you're
saying?
living on Coronado, so you're doing something good. You're doing something right at some point in your life. So you come on, dude.
Do you buy gas on Coronado?
Fuck no.
Oh.
Extra $1. It's an extra $1. It's Sinclair
It's
right
got
there.
it's over $40 or $4 a gallon right now. It's got
No, there's if you go to the so where I'm at, if you jump the street to the other little part of the base, it's pretty cheap there.
Oh, he gets on base gas.
But it's also cheap gas though.
Is gas cheaper on base?
People say that. You know what? I put base gas in my car every time because it was cheapest
I noticed
normally.
it burns
I've never.
faster.
And
It
I
does burn
never
faster.
had issues with it.
Shell, Chevron, and Mobil are probably the only 3 that I use.
It's the same gas.
I don't believe
It's
it.
all the same.
I don't believe that.
You
at
think
all.
they're like make
I
some
bet-
shitty gas for that base over there?
No, but I think that they'd be like, "Hey, what's the? It's the
It's a cheaper quality.
military. It's
It's
a
a cheaper
government. They're like,
quality,
what's
yeah.
the
It
cheapest
burns
shit we
faster.
can
I
get?"
think the big difference that you get with the military, someone told me because the price fluctuates differently than out in town, is because they buy it in more advance. They pay for it in advance and farther in advance.
I think that that's in gas stations in general. Like, I don't go to a cheap gas station to put it in my car,
Whatever, dude.
especially
I
my
find-
motorcycle.
I find the cheapest place in Southern
Even the
California.
the guy who built my motorcycle, who his job for 30 years is building motors. He was the one who told me, he's like, don't use anything else besides top. You have to, because like top tier gasoline. You
Tell
can look it
him
up.
I said.
Top tier gasoline. There's all sorts of like you have to sign into it basically to be able to say we have top tier gasoline. Like there's like 30 companies, 30 like mobile, Shell. What are they? I mean,
There's a
like,
place in Carlsbad that has 105 on the pump.
Yeah, there's a place in PB that does 105.
105, like $1.05.
No, 105 octane.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
So I'm telling you, I believe in that shit 100%. I mean, you could do like a quick Google search in 5 minutes and be like, oh shit, yeah, that is definitely true. There's breakdowns of people who take a motor fresh, run 1,000 miles of it in shit gas and 1,000 miles in shell gas, and they break it back open and it's like clear as day. There's no like argument there. It's like, yep, that's definitely better gas.
I put this in the what's that shit called? You put in your gas tank.
Seafoam.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
all I
that's.
use, baby.
Lucas.
I think that's.
Lucas.
So I had a guy tell me, I had a mechanic tell me one time, because I asked him about getting my injectors clean. I was like, hey, should I just dump this stuff in it? And he said that's only good to put that in there if you like do it from the beginning. like I've owned this car. I'm the only owner, and since I've owned it, every oil change I put in a thing of that because it maintains it. He said if you're already clogged, just go get them clean, go get the fuel injectors cleaned, and then start using it every oil change.
That's probably a better, like I use Seafoam at every oil change. I put it in my oil as well. So I'll do like 100 miles before I change my oil. I'll use a half thing of Seafoam in it. Again, because I'm like a factual person. There's a guy I follow who will do that same shit. He'll camera, because you can scope and camera the inside of a motor with a real small, tiny camera. They put it in, and then they run Seafoam in it, and then they camera it again. And after 2 or 3 times, all of the carbon that's built up on top of the valves and shit, you can see a majority of that is gone. And he'll do that same thing with 10 across the board additives. Yeah. And Seafoam is the only additive that will actually take off anything at all. So that's the only reason that I use it.
Last time I used Seafoam on a car, funny story, I had a 65 F100 with a...
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Okay. All right.
That's an old girl right there.
Camp
What year was this?
Camp Lejeune. I was at Camp Lejeune.
You were in the military and you owned in 1965?
Yeah, I was with 2nd Maintenance Battalion at the time. And I was like, you know what? I want a truck that I can work on. And I told my old lady, I told my ex, I was like, hey, look, I'm going to get this and then I'm going to put like 15 grand into it. Like I want this to be like something I drive only on the weekends and I take it to like car shows kind of deal. Well, then I lap moved and became an 0861 and had 0 time to do any of that. I was deployed or in the field constantly. But I had this 65 F100, and I tried to do work to it over the years. I just didn't have time to do the stuff I wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell this thing. It's time to sell it. And I remember I was thinking, like, one time I was going through the main intersection at Camp Lejeune right off the base, Western and 24 or 17, whatever it is, that main one right next to the base. You know what I'm talking about. I remember going through that intersection and losing the brakes one time with Kale, my kid in the passenger seat in his car seat, and I'm going through this, weaving through cars, can't stop in the 65 F100, and then anyway, later on, I was like, all right, I'm going to sell this car. I need to get rid of this truck because I'm just not doing anything to it. And it's rusting out. I want to get rid of it before it gets too bad. And
before you kill your kid.
Something happened, and I wanted to put some Seafoam in the engine. I think something was running a little rough on it or something like that. It had an Edelbrock carburetor, like a 650 carburetor. And so I went and got some Seafoam, put it in, closed the hood, and I took it out onto, what is that road that's right in front of Camp Lejeune? Is it 17?
This is 24.
24? I always get them mixed up.
17 goes south towards Wilmington.
By the Walmart, right?
Ooh, Wilmington. I enjoy that place.
So anyway, you know how when you go on Camp Lejeune, you have that highway, whatever it is, 17 or 24, whatever.
24, the one that goes
24
towards out east.
Yeah, and then you can like veer off and go into Camp Lejeune. Well, I go past the gate. I'm in the middle lane. It's nighttime. 65 F100, no side mirrors on it. The guy that owned it before me took those off. There's like one little.
Fuck those. Why do you need those?
Yeah, no side mirrors. And I'm driving, and when you put Seafoam in it, it's like you're supposed to let it run for a little bit, and then you're supposed to punch it to get it flowing real well. I punch it. I'm driving like, wah, and all of a sudden, whoo, hood flips up. Center lane, no side mirrors, nighttime. There's cars driving by me. My hood is up. I can't see anything. I'm like, oh my God. It's total fucking Tommy Boy situation, right?
Did your brakes work this day?
They did work. I'm like looking over my shoulder, and I'm just trying to veer over and get into the shoulder. Yeah. Luckily it didn't bust my windshield. It didn't break the hood.
Why did your hood flop up? You don't know?
Dude, it was so old. Sometimes it would catch, and I would always close the hood and then kind of pull on it to make sure it was secure.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened because I did at that time, but and that's when I was like, I have to get rid of this fucking truck before it kills me. But it was a cool truck.
Yeah.
65 F100. Kale loved it.
I'm telling you, boys, Seafoam is the way to go. Put some Seafoam in your vehicle, would you?
I'm at about 130,000 right now. It's getting there.
I think that guy was right, though. I think it's a maintenance thing. Rather than like, oh, my car's running like shit, I'll put it in now.
So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get it up to operating temperature. You're supposed to crack your intake on it. So like take the boot off right before it goes into the carburetor, fuel injection, whatever you have. And then you rev it up to about 1,000 RPM. And you just empty the whole entire can of Seafoam into it because there's an aerosol version as well. What you're doing is like you're hot soaking the entire inside of that motor, so like the valves and everything in it, the intake, and then you shut it off because like the petroleum that's inside of it is supposed to break down the carbon bits in there.
You think it could be bad for a motor to break up some of that shit too?
So they say like before you go get your oil change, you dump some seafoam in, right? Because the petroleum and that's inside of it breaks down the detergents that are in it, break down all the stuff that's inside of your motor that's gunked up in there. So it loosens up all that gunk. But if you have an old motor, say you have 100,000 miles on your motor and it doesn't leak any oil, a lot of that nasty oil deposit you have is built up around all the gaskets and the seals that are inside there. So if you use seafoam and you haven't been doing it maintenance-wise, you haven't been doing it routinely to keep your motor clean, and say it gets away a lot of that gunk, now a lot of your gasket's so old and brittle that your oil can now... So you can... If you put it in your oil, right, at an oil change and you have 100,000 miles on it, you can definitely get a leak from it.
Yeah.
Because now everything that was building up inside of there is creating a seal. Now all that's gone, and you can get a leak from that. So if you haven't... You're right. If you have in your oil specifically, if you put it in your gas, that's different.
I never put that shit in my Evo. But it was a brand new car, so...
Sounds like I know what you're talking about.
Do you miss the Evo?
Every day. Not every day, but...
Did you ever have a fast car?
No, he's a Prius guy.
What did you have when we were at ANGLICO? What car did you have?
He had a truck, and then you got a...
So I had the truck. I got the Ford Focus because I was driving 50 miles to work, 50 miles back to work. So I remember, before I went to Lejeune, I had a 94 Chevy Silverado. It had like a 9-inch lift on it, big 35-inch tires. Gas in California hit almost $5 a gallon during this time.
Jesus Christ.
And I remember budgeting for gas. And I was like...
Yeah, when's the last time you went to the gas station? You're like, I'm just going to put in 20. You know what I'm saying?
And so when we came back from here from Lejeune, we lived on base for a little bit.
Where that sauce?
Lived on base for a little bit, and then we bought the house out in Murrieta. I was like, "Yep, I'm going for the car." And so I bought my little Ford Focus, and here she is still.
That's cool.
What kind of miles a gallon you getting in that thing? It's got to be 40s.
It was about 38 for a while. Now I'm shooting at about 32. It's kind of old now.
Let's do some maintenance. Let's get the plugs and wires, and let's get a new filter in that thing.
Twin turbo
fuel filter.
going,
Let's do it. I'm down.
I can't take that thing on the range, though.
It vibrates and idle. Dude,
You got a dusty aisle. I could fix it. Let's get that a little maintenance.
I have taken that car more off-roading than some of these than more dudes with trucks have.
Yeah.
That car has been through so many ranges, so many camping, so much hunting, so much just like so many places you would not expect to take a car. I've taken that car to.
I've never had a Ford Focus.
Borjas had a Ford Focus. Jerry had one for a while. Good gas mileage. That's all that matters at some point. I mean,
yeah.
People hate on Teslas, like in the Midwest. Like my friends are like, fucking Teslas. Only douchebags drive those. I'm like, dude, I would totally drive a Tesla.
They're everywhere here. I would totally drive
in California, they're everywhere.
Literally everywhere. I mean, but those things are pricey. Those things are real pricey.
We saw some used ones were like 40, right?
Yeah, but I mean, still, I think for the cheap base model, you're around like 35.
And with those, you're getting like 250 to 300 miles.
It's more just for the name. You're literally buying it. Those ones that just have a Tesla.
Well, or if you live in town, like you don't ever go out of town.
Yeah, but if you're going to spend that money, I feel like it's like...
I want 400 miles guaranteed before I'm jumping on that bandwagon.
That's where you get in the SUV ones.
They sound weird when they drive because you can hear whatever's in there kind of...
It's just the electric. It's just the electric motor.
Do those have a motor on each engine or each wheel? Or?
There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, I believe. So obviously, like the more expensive ones, each wheel has its own motor. You can buy just the base model. I think it just has one motor driven. You'll see it on the back. It'll say... Not like the wheel, not WD, like wheel drive, like 4-wheel drive. Mm-hmm. Something motor, something. There's a term,
I know what you're talking about.
There's a term for it, but like that's how I ever see. If I ever see the ones that are like 4 motor or whatever it is, I'm like, oh, that guy's got money because those are like the expensive versions of them. That's like we're the ones that have like the ludicrous mode. It's literally called ludicrous mode in the vehicle because Tesla.
Spaceballs fan, huh?
That dude, in that Elon Musk is like a funny like they've spent.
They got
millions and millions of dollars just in software updates on these things that'll like dance for you. It has like the fart whoopee cushion on it.
Yeah, the little Easter eggs, if you know about it.
All sorts of you can use your steering wheel as a game, so you can play a driving game, not while you're driving if you're parked.
Oh, really?
You can play a
This
driving
sounds
game
dangerous.
and your steering wheel is the
I didn't know that.
Say you're playing like Mario Kart. Your steering wheel is now you can play a video. There's like millions and millions of dollars dumped into these vehicles just on software alone.
How long do you think it'll be before
crazy.
the military is electric vehicle?
Long time.
You think so?
No,
it has to be sustainable. It has to be.
Well, they're using those UTVs now. You know those little
But
Polarises?
those are all gas powered.
Yeah, I'm saying, but something like that wouldn't be hard to put an electric motor in. I don't think.
I think it'd be hard to sustain that. So say you're out in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden you got to plug in and power it. What are you going to do?
Well, if let's say you use it for like a raid off the Mew, you're not expecting to go out for 2 months.
But I don't think that they're going to put their faith in. Okay, what if something happens? Now they're out there for 2 days. Now their only vehicle dies. You know, like I think that there's too much of a risk.
I mean, there's still a limitation on fuel.
Yeah, but you could bring fuel goes exponentially longer than a battery.
There's probably
does.
somebody at the one of the program offices right now watching this thing and like going, ha,
Well,
little do they know.
Yeah,
little do they know.
What's that other? Not Tesla. What's the other company? There's a
Nikola. Yeah,
Nikola, which is
I bought
got
some stocks in them not long ago.
they got kind of shamed for their electric semi was like a scam. Did you see that?
Was it?
The commercial, they have a commercial of the semi driving down this road, and it turns out that they started at the top of a hill because the vehicle didn't actually drive, and they pushed it down a hill.
And they coasted
and
it?
the way they worded it was like it was a driving on its own power or something like that. The way they worded it was like
it
made it like legit, but it was like, hold on, wait, that thing's not even real. Like,
so I was always concerned. I'm like, why don't they just put solar panels on these fucking cars? And then cars that sit in the parking lot for a day or, you know, wherever.
yeah, but how much
But they
power are
said
you
that-
getting from that?
That's the
Minimal.
issue is that they can't, it's not worth it. You're
Yeah.
not able to draw enough power off of solar.
Well, but the reason I brought up Nikola is they are working on a military vehicle, like a UTV. I remember seeing it at the Marine West Expo.
Oh.
They had it out there. If for the people that have never gone to those expos, like do that. Those are always fucking cool to go
Yeah.
to.
It's
Marine
basically
Corps
like
won't
being
buy
in the
that shit
future.
for a long time. We're so
Yeah.
behind the times.
Someone will get it before. I mean,
Have you been in one of the new vehicles, the Humvee replacements?
The GLTV?
Yeah, is it cool?
He's like, no big deal.
It looks like a MATV.
Yeah,
It's very similar.
the Matt V. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's very similar.
See, but those are, I don't know. You just can't fit enough, I feel like. You can't, I mean, for like I don't know. It just depends the mission. But I think it'll be a while before we let electricity. Because haven't you ever seen like they put on these big solar panel, solar powered expos and shit like that. But then behind all the scenes, there's just a fuck ton of generators lined up.
Well, it's like
powering
the battery chargers they gave like ANGLICO and some of the other units, and it was like you'd have to sit the solar panel out in the sun all day to charge
It's like
one
a
5590.
70-pound pack too, just to charge one battery.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
like,
charge one radio battery.
Dude.
Like, okay, but I need 2 for my 117s. I'm still on the Fox.
So those would be good to like toss in the back of a vehicle if you had room. But there's no packing those out. Didn't make any sense. There's no way. But it wasn't a bad idea. I mean, I think that it'll be a long time. I think Elon Musk is just. I don't know if you ever like listened to him or watched any of his stuff, but he's not a human, man. I mean, he is a human, but I think that I think his brain thinks at such a
he
different
just
level.
thinks of things differently.
Different, like him being around us. I bet he's like these fucking idiots.
Well, I think he's
These
also
fucking
a person that thinks about stuff and goes, you know what, anything's possible. Like, why not dig a tunnel under the ground? What's stopping me?
Yeah,
Like you just laugh about it because
Yeah.
you just in your own mind you think it's impossible, but in reality,
He is that kind
It's
of guy.
not impossible.
He is like,
you need those kind of people.
Yeah.
He's got his place definitely here.
I was on the I was on a podcast a couple weeks ago. They haven't released it yet. I'm not sure why. The Armbar podcast, and we were talking.
Armbar?
Yeah, it's there's some guys that were with Third Anglico, or one of the guys was with Third Anglico. I think the other guy was a cop. He was like a undercover narc dude. Like he worked in narcotics, like undercover. I'm like,
Is he a
okay, that's
grappler?
pretty legit.
Jesus Christ.
Well, they're both like jiu-jitsu guys. I don't know.
Okay.
Their whole, I don't know. Anyway, they wanted me to come on, and we were talking about it. And he was like, he asked me a question. I don't remember what the question was, but we were talking about how I look at stuff like there's all these cool jobs out here. There's all these cool things happening. Someone has to be that person that's doing that cool thing. Why can't it be me? Why can't it be you? Like, there's a guy that is flying an F-35 right now. Why can't you, the listener right now, why can't you be that fucking dude?
Well, you can be, but I think it's everybody in society and social media and all this shit.
We limit
tries to
ourselves
take-
is what I'm getting at.
Exactly,
It's
100%.
You got to realize someone has to be a rock star.
Someone has to be an
a movie
astronaut.
star.
Like someone has to be on.
There are real people that did what they needed to do to go be in those jobs, and we limit ourselves. It's like, dude, you can do any of these things.
I don't know if we limit ourselves or it's the fact of Yeah, you're right. It is
We
limiting.
100%
because
limit ourselves.
I'm thinking of a different term because like if I wanted to be a movie star, like I think it'd be cool to be an actor, but do I have the grind in me to
Yeah, you have
stop
to have the
everything I'm
drive.
doing right now and just focus my entire, like Lacey today, my wife, she's a dental hygienist school. She's in the schooling right now for it. So she's doing homework 24/7.
All the
Like
time.
literally all the time. She's always doing homework.
It's really gross. It makes me feel bad about my college experience.
She has to do like she had to make a video today on, she had, whatever. I go in the room. She's like, hey, I need you to be a patient on a video that I'm making. And I'll have your note cards and shit set out. You just read what you're saying. We have the camera set up because she needed to do a video for one of her projects.
I need my teeth cleaned if she needs a dummy.
She does need a dummy actually coming up. So there we go right
We'll
there.
set that up afterwards.
And so it's Saturday afternoon. I'm hanging out. I just put like a TV and stuff outside. I'm just doing my thing, and I come inside, and to her. Days don't matter anymore. Like a day is just a day.
She's super.
She is so in the zone of like, I know what I need to do. I want to be a dental hygienist. Literally nothing else in the world matters. No fun stuff. No, all that shit can wait because for the next 2 years, I just have to focus on becoming this.
Yeah.
So I go in there, dude, and she's got a little easel set up with all printed out scripts of what I'm supposed to say, how everything's highlighted, everything's in paper. All hers are pinned to the wall behind me. So as she's talking to me, I'm in the chair and we're videotaping. She's looking at the wall behind me, but she can read everything. She's already got all of her lines written down. What I'm saying is that this is a Saturday to me.
You have to put in the effort.
A Saturday to me, I'm like, well, fuck, let's have a good time. It's Saturday, why not? That's the difference between people who know what the fuck they need to do to make it. It's a Saturday, but she's like, whatever, this is just another day. I need to make it to this finish line. Mm-hmm. And I think that people who are dedicated and know that, okay, I want to be a rock star or I want to be an astronaut or what, like the extreme jobs, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing else matters. All that, I think that it takes a special breed of person to be a Joe Rogan or to be a whoever you want to think of.
You just have to focus.
The focus and the dedication is so
and most people don't
extreme.
want to do that dedication.
Not only that, but most people don't make it. Most people don't get to that position, and you have to understand that I could try for the next 5 years, and I could not succeed. I could totally not get there. But that's a gamble that I'm willing to take, and if I do get there, it's 100% worth it. But I still think if you don't get there, it's still 100% worth it.
Yeah.
Because all your all your experience that you've just now gained, and having the dedication and the drive and the
got to enjoy the journey.
The journey is what it's all about. It's that's what makes you who you are. Because then when you get there, you can look back and now know that's like when people who win the lottery, they lose all their money right away because they didn't have the struggle of getting to it.
You haven't earned it.
So now you don't understand what $10 is, right? Like that's why shitty kids who grow up being shitty because they're given everything they ever wanted, they don't understand the value of $1, so they lose it all right away.
Yeah.
So I think that the journey has a whole lot to do with it. And anyway, that's what I see in her. I'm like, dude, you are the most dedicated, and it's just having that like discipline. Yeah. Like when I got out, I lacked a lot of self-discipline that I had in the military because you have to do it. So
everything feels less serious.
And
so it's like, why am I taking this serious?
Right, and like getting it, that's a good way to put it. Everything does feel a lot less serious when you get out because you're like, it's not life or death.
Yeah.
Nothing in my job that I do, plumbing, I mean, they protect the health and safety of the whatever, but nothing's like, if I don't do this today, my friend's not going to die tonight. Like it's not.
You're going to have a 500-pound concrete bomb land on your
exactly
on your vehicle.
So I feel like there's the big difference of when you are being in the military, not being in the military, or even just in general in a job, whatever we were talking about. It's the drive that you have, and you start to. I personally have like the discipline of just staying in shape, like staying in. I can't run. I can still run 3 miles and do a PFT.
3.5.
3.5. Thank you. 3.51 to be exact. But you just have to maintain that self-discipline is tough. And you do Muay Thai right now.
Yep.
So I've thought about getting into some sort of jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, because then you now have to have that discipline. Because whenever you guys meet up, how often do you guys meet up?
Every day except for Sundays.
So every day you have to show somebody. You got to show up with someone they're going to expect a certain level out of you. Like going to work in the military. Every day you show up, someone expects a certain amount of a level that you have to maintain. Once you get out, you kind of lose that because you look around and you're like, well, everybody's just doing whatever they do. There's no, what do you want to call it? Like, what is a PFT and a CFT set? It's set the standard. Mm-hmm. There's no standard in the civilian world. You can kind of do whatever you want. So I feel like in that running club that I was in, being part of a club of some sort of physical activity is one of the best things to maintain once you get out. Because now you are you are showing up to something with other people looking at you and expecting that standard out of you. And that's what I started to lack a bit when I got out, because I'm like, well, I can kind of do whatever I want now. It doesn't really matter. But I've thought about do you enjoy Muay Thai?
Oh, love it. Great gym. It's called Carlsbad Kickboxing up in Carlsbad. It's a fantastic gym.
Where's that at in Carlsbad?
It's off of El Camino, and go north, El Camino go west, what's the name of that street?
Is it like downtown proper, or is it like...
No, it's before that. It's close to the airport. It's pretty close to the airport.
Oh, okay, cool. And that's 5 days a week or 6 days a week?
Yeah. So the guy that owns it, he used to be a combat engineer in the Army. Fantastic guy, great business model he's got. He's actually trying to do a lot for veterans right now too. He's working this thing right now, so basically a veteran can get out, and you can use your GI Bill to go there. So while you're there, 5 days a week, you are getting qualified and certified to be a what do you call it?
Like an instructor?
Not a Muay Thai instructor, not a physical therapist. What's the word I'm thinking about?
Personal trainer?
Yeah, trainer.
Personal trainer?
Yeah, you're gonna be a personal trainer and maybe even a therapist too. I think he's trying to do all that too, because he has those people on staff, and so your GI Bill is gonna pay for that. And so basically, you can go to the gym. You can work out, do Muay Thai at the same time. Also, go to school or do all the learning to be a personal trainer or a therapist.
Who puts on the schooling?
He will. He's got certified people there.
Oh, shit.
And so when it's all said and done, you also collect the BAH for Carlsbad too, to do all that kind of stuff. But he just run into a bureaucracy issue where he's got to, you got to dance the dance, hit the red tape, where it's got to be you got to be the established business for like 2 years or something like that. Some weird shit.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of certifications.
That'd be wild, because I don't think, does anybody do that? I don't think you can get out and just get BAH or get the GI Bill for... That'd be kind of a first, I feel like.
He's got
it depends.
It's a good school.
They've actually opened up the GI Bill to a lot of different things now.
Have they?
Yeah, it used to be you could only use it for like college. Now you can use it for technical schools.
Mm-hmm.
You can use it for certifications, like stuff like that.
I could have used it in tech school as well for plumbing.
But the people that people that haven't used it, like you have to realize too that you have to be a full-time student to get the full BAH, which is
what, 12 credits?
I
think it's 12 credit hours.
Is it 12? Yeah, I think it is 12. So that's 4 classes. That's usually 4 classes a semester. If you don't do that, if you don't have that, then you get the national average for online or whatever it is. It's like way less. So especially here in California, it's definitely worth it to take as many. Plus, you're saving. For me, like I graduate in the spring, finally. But I've pushed through, like I'm taking 6 classes right now, which I'm actually not going to do next semester. I'm dropping my minor. I picked up a history minor, and I'm like, I could take 6 classes. It'll suck, but whatever. But it's just too much with everything else. So I'm going to drop my history minor, and now I only have to take 5 classes. But like maximize the amount of classes you're taking, because the GI Bill and stuff is done by time, not by credit hours. So I can take So I can take as many classes I want in that time. And I've done enough now where I should have enough time left at the end. I could probably go get my master's if I want.
I think that's how. So I don't know how many credit hours Lacey took this semester, but yeah, the GI Bill is pretty sick.
Yeah,
because she gets paid $2,600, I think.
Especially if you're a single dude. If you're a single guy, like there's no reason to.
If you're a single dude, not only that, $2,600 a month. If you're a single dude, just pull out a private room or wherever you're gonna rent at, say $1,300 if you're just gonna share a room with somebody. That's a lot of money left over to pay whatever you have to pay for.
I would totally take advantage of that and get a second job or get a job or do something where you're making extra money. And don't only rely on that. Like right now, I'm getting ready to finish on the 15th.
Like a bartender,
I think is my.
You get your thing from Groupon
$5.
for $5.
$5 exactly.
He's like, I'm a Groupon premium member. So that's a thing.
You know what I want to do though? I actually want to manage like a martial arts gym. That's what I really want to do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I feel like you have to be in the martial arts game for a while.
I've actually been doing different types of martial arts since high school.
Yeah.
But how awesome would it be? Like every day you show up, you go to the gym, just a bunch of dudes there, or chicks, the people that go there, obviously they're always pretty cool people.
Because they're all like an alpha mentality, I feel like.
And you should go there and you train, you work out, you hang out with these different people, you make yourself as a person better, mentally and physically, and then obviously on the martial arts realm a lot more better, and you're managing all that and getting paid for it.
So do you want to instruct classes or just manage the business?
Oh, I don't think I am nowhere near good enough to instruct classes, but just manage the business,
I think that's the way to go, because then you're constantly keeping yourself at a physical level where you're ready to do whatever you need to do. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you're just getting better at self-defense in general, or just physical fitness in general helps you substantially.
In general.
Oh, I like it. It's great. It is really good for the mind. Really good for the mind.
Yeah. I mean, being in good shape, and even being in the military, I didn't realize how getting up and running, right? Oh, you got to go run 4 miles this morning, 3 miles this morning, whatever. This is dumb. 5:30. Why am I just? You're just jogging just to jog. But
you don't really think about how active you are.
Holy fuck!
Just going and doing a gear layout, going and moving from here to here.
The shit we used to eat at the chow hall every day. You just mouse so much food, and you just go right back out, and you don't realize that, dude, you're burning serious calories.
Yeah.
And I think maybe something to do with doing that physical fitness in the morning carries you out through the day. So if you're running 4 miles at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, you've set your pace for your metabolism and shit for the day. Now you're, I feel like that.
I was telling Cameron, my old neighbor is Cameron. I was telling Cameron, I was like, dude, a lot of people in the military, at least in the Marine Corps, I can't speak to the other branches, but you're basically an athlete, for a lot of units. Like if they're doing it seriously at ANGLICO, it was, you're always getting up, hiking, running, beach run, whatever. You're always doing something where, like, if you've never been in the military or something like that, it's hard to fathom some of the workouts and stuff you're doing. Like, you wouldn't just go do that on your own. It's hard to have the internal drive to do a lot of the stuff that you do in the military on your own.
That's true.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, everybody, let's wake up. Let's wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's take about 80 pounds and go hike 15 miles.
Actually, speaking of that, you guys you were in Delta?
No.
Or you were in Bravo?
He was the...
I had first brigade.
I
had the brigade.
Oh, you did have the brigade. You had that fucking sled with the parachute on it, didn't you?
No, not a parachute, but we put the weights on it. Put the weights on it.
Didn't you guys have a sled that you would push, and then didn't you have that parachute where you would run and the parachute would make you go? We would be walking in after our PT, and these dudes would be on the side of that
right
fence
outside
right
the
there.
fence. Yeah,
I'm like, God damn, it sucks to be them
brigade
right now.
headquarters is getting it.
Jesus Christ.
You and Breaky and
we wouldn't stop until Zerazua puked.
That always somebody was throwing up outside of that fence.
Zerazua is always Z.
I remember my first.
Guys always like, God damn it, motherfucker!
My first morning at ANGLICO.
God damn it!
My first morning at ANGLICO, I showed up, and I remember like getting there, and I come in green on green for PT because I'm a loser. I just got there. Everyone else is in their ANGLICO hoodie and like whatever. And I see Paul. I'm like, what are you guys? What are you guys up to? He's like, yeah, we're getting ready to go box in the back. He's like, so and so was talking shit, so we're doing boxing for PT. And I'm like, okay, like, sounds good.
That's a shit. Like Hitchens was
gloves on, like punching your fist, like we're getting ready to go box. And then I go out back and I see you beating the shit out of some dude. I'm like, all right. Well.
Hitchens was like a McMap guy, so if anybody had anything going on, he'd be like, all right, we're gonna do McMap this morning, so go ahead and feel free and pick out who you want. And he'd look at the tube and pick out who you want. And in a normal job, you don't get to do that shit.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I miss 100%, is being able to have a beef with somebody and just being able to either deal with it or talk shit to them long enough to where you guys either get shit like that. Just doesn't fly in the civilian world.
We were talking about this the other day. The one time I remember of us, we were boxed in the back. So Dan Hack.
Yeah.
So he's actually the guy that replaced me as the JTAC PM at 1st Mardiv too.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm. So Hawk's a pretty big guy. Dan's a pretty big guy. So me and him are boxing. It's me and him going at it, and we're getting some good looks in. I think we both feel like our noses are bleeding. It's a pretty good round. What's his name?
Not your regular job.
Not your regular job.
What's his name from 2nd Brigade? One of the comm guys from 2nd Brigade. He starts walking up, starts talking shit. No, he's talking
Rango?
shit. He's talking shit. He's like, yeah, I was a fucking Golden Gloves, blah blah blah.
So many people say that shit,
and so Dan, Hawk, he looks at him, he's like, put the gloves on, pussy. Let's do this.
Prove it.
I wonder who it was.
And he's like, nah, I can't. Gunny Talk needs me to go do something. Blah blah.
Talk.
I was like, really? It's like, take my gloves off and pick up my phone. Was like, hey Nick, you need a. Fuck, who was it?
Damn, I wish you could remember who it was.
Let's call him out.
The 2nd Brigade, that's my business.
Everybody's
That
out there
is.
like, who's this motherfucker?
I said, Nick, you need so and so. He's like, nah, not till like at least 09. It's like, cool. Gunny says you're good for the
Glove
next hour. Put the
Did you
gloves
meet
on,
Gunny
bitch.
Talk? Yeah. Gunny Talk was cool as fuck.
Me and him are going hunting. We've been going hunting recently.
Oh, are you?
Is he back out here? I know he was out at.
Yeah.
So that son of a
Nakatea or
bitch one
something.
time at an Anglico fucking Christmas party. We get to the Anglico Christmas party. You might have been there. It was at a real nice establishment.
With the old people.
Yeah. This is like 2000.
What are they called? What are they called? The old people. I know exactly what you're talking about. Colonel Russell.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite colonels I've ever had. Hands down, that man. And we get to the Christmas party, and Gunny Talk is fucking hammered. And we're there we're there to like kind of help set up. This is when I was with Echo. And we're like drunk too. Corey, so Sully was there, Ferg, Harple, Ski, and Gunny Talk comes up to me. He's like, hey man, you could just tell he's sloshed. And there's normal civilian, like there's
Oh,
old,
is this at that place out by the back gate?
It's the old people. What is that?
The community center.
I can't remember where. It's
Anyway.
at. So we're like,
They call themselves.
we're all like getting pretty drunk there, and I can tell immediately when we walk in, Gunny Talk's already fucking hammered, and I'm like, dude, it's like early, and he just walks up to me, doesn't say shit to me, slaps me right in the face, open-handed.
Oh, no way.
Poof. What's up, Farrell? And I'm like, Gunny, can you not fucking do that right now? I had to be the grown up. I'm like, hey buddy, listen, we're trying to.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Like Sergeant, I remember Tracy was there. I think Tracy saw it. Everybody had to have seen it. It was right in the center of like the floor. And I'm like, hey man, like this is funny. Like let's go over here. So we go over to the corner. I'm like, hey dude, don't fucking slap me in the face again. That's just not cool.
Yeah, that's
Like-
disrespectful.
Not cool. He does it again.
Nah, we would have
Slaps
been
you-
fighting then.
Slaps you right in the face. So I kind of shove him a little bit. I'm like, dude, don't fucking do that. And there's like, again, there's old people. There's like, I'm the one who has to keep it cool. I'm a corporal at this time. I'm like, Gunny, I know corporal says it's not cool, but like, only in Anglico do I got to call my Gunny by like his first name. Like, hey Nicholas, listen here, bud.
Here's the deal.
So anyway, we're cool. Like whatever, it's over with. So we all get fucking hammered. Everybody's hammered at this Christmas party.
You?
You remember Hargrove?
Of course, you.
We're always hammered.
You in Australia. Fuck.
Jesus Christ. So Hargrove drives like he's this black dude, gangster ass, tricked out
Skinny ass
Charger.
Hargrove, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got this like tricked out Charger with like big 24-inch rims on it.
Oh, really?
He's got like 15s in the back, slamming. And we're getting ready to leave, and we have no ride home because I can't remember how we got there. Skeeter and all of us, in front of everybody, I slap Gunny Talk. Call him a bitch. Boom, slap him. And this is like at the end of the day, so everybody's out in the parking lot getting ready to leave. The entire fucking company's out there. Everyone watches me slap him. I jump in the car, and now Gunny Talk's chasing after the car on foot. Hargrove is like, Hargrove's slanging. Hargrove's been drinking. We're all like hammered.
Standard Marine Corps Christmas party.
And I'm hanging out of the window. Corey's hanging out of the window with me. Corey's hanging out of me, and I have a bottle, and I'm like, fuck you, Gunny Talk. And Gunny Talk's like, fuck you. And he's literally
That's
on
funny.
foot running after the car after us. And Colonel Russell, Tracy's there. Everybody is standing out there watching this happen, and we just, and it had been raining, so the parking lot's wet. Hargrove's like ripping it around corners, like drifting. Not a single word ever got talked about it. Nobody said anything.
good
Nothing
times.
ended up happening. We got back to the base, and Monday morning I saw Gunny Talk. I'm like, hey, man. He's like, I was a little hammered at the party.
Yeah.
I'm like, I fucking know you were hammered at the party.
I gotta have Jerry come on and talk about the time he smacked Archer in the face after brunch in Bahrain.
Yeah, that would be a good one. That would be a good one.
You could talk about brunch in Bahrain. That's like, people always talked about brunch in Bahrain. I was always looking forward to it, and then we did it, and I was like, this is insane. This is way more than I even expected. Like,
Hammered.
dude, it's like $60 or $50, but it's like bottomless drinks that are just
It's
pure
about
alcohol.
it's about $60 to $70 because of the exchange rate.
Yeah.
Fuck. God, you're hammered.
Such a good time.
But you have to wear suits and shit.
I didn't realize that. No one fucking told us.
What'd you wear? Khakis?
I want to say I was like, yeah, probably. All those, and you know what the fucked up part was? It was me and Jerry. We went together. We met up with Archer and all those other dudes, and we had suits made in Hong Kong, and they didn't tell us that we needed suits for it. So we had these super nice suits. I mean, we went all out. We each had 2 made, and we had these really nice suits, and no one told us. And I'm like, dude, I looked at them all coming in suits because they're like, yeah, meet us at this hotel at this time. And I'm like, thanks a lot, dick. Like, what the fuck? But oh well, it was a good time.
I didn't know that. I forgot you were in Australia with us. Holy fucking free for all.
So my recollection of y'all in Australia, me and Tracy are up on the second deck. It's morning time. You know, Tracy'd always make coffee out of his little. He'd always make it in his room.
French press thing he had.
Yep. So we were drinking coffee and we were having a cigarette, and it's like 5:30, something like that. Y'all are just all coming back, and y'all are down below arguing. Y'all are arguing about going back out because you spent your entire paycheck. You're broke. This, and this.
Sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure y'all are still hammered.
Oh yeah,
we're partying on credit.
Yeah, it's back to us, and y'all are like, I ain't fucking going out. I'm fucking broke, man. I'm fucking this, and you're like dead broke. Somebody said because it's expensive out there to drink.
Fuck yes, it was
because of the taxes they put out there.
Yeah,
and somebody said something, convinced y'all, and you're like, fuck it, let's go. And we're just upstairs watching this, like, oh my god.
So one night we're out in Australia.
You gotta take advantage, man.
One night we're in Australia, and the thing, okay, so when I was in Australia, I kept telling everybody, I'm like, listen, guys, we need to go out every single night because they didn't I was on the Muse, so I understood.
Like, let me talk some sense into you every night.
Well,
listen, hear me, because
that's pretty much what happened.
I knew we're going to look back at this. You are never going to have a chance of the luxury that we had. We were in Brisbane, Australia, in a sky-rise, beautiful hotel, and we each had a room to ourselves. My room had a kitchen, a laundry room, another door you went through to my bedroom.
Oh, really?
To myself.
Like a suite.
To myself, a suite for 2 weeks or a week and a half. I think we had them for.
It was barracks.
You were with us with the barracks. Remember, in the back end, all we had to do was go to a museum for a day. So we called it training. So then we had a week and a half after that of free range to do whatever you wanted.
That's awesome. I never got to go to Australia.
We had 2 weekends, 2 Friday, Saturdays that we got while we were in this hotel. And I remember telling everybody, I'm like, listen, guys, you don't understand this. Like, I get it because I've been on the Mute to Australia, and this is nothing like you'll ever get again. You will never have this experience
advantage.
Again. So we went out every fucking. I would force those guys to come out.
That's like when we would go to different countries on ship, and people are like, "No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stay on the boat."
Staying in.
It's like if you had the opportunity to stay out overnight and people weren't taking it, they're like, I just want to save a little bit of money. I'm like, dude, fuck that. I'll save money on something else. When am I going to be in Hong Kong again?
So one night we go out in Australia, and no, this was actually the barracks night. We were in the barracks for this portion of it. And I remember Skeeter's hammered. Skeeter's like a raging alcoholic at the time. And we're at this strip club, and we're having a great time. And you can get away with whatever the fuck you want there when you're an American. Like, you hear the stories of it, but it's real. Like, for the most part, as long as you're American, you can kind of do what you want, and the girls fucking love you. It's like, imagine you're the female and the girls are the males when you go out at night.
Yeah, I heard that it's because dudes are opening doors for chicks. As soon as they
hear your accent, it's game over. So we're out at it's like probably 2 a.m. and we're at a strip club, and this stripper is going to let me pee on her, and I don't want.
What the fuck?
I don't want to pee on her.
How do you even get to this point?
We're at the part of the conversation where it's like, okay, I'm gonna pee.
Now you have to.
There's stories you got to just do for the story. You just got to do it for the story. And at this point, this stripper is like banging hot. Like, you can't give strippers dollars there. It's a $5 bill or nothing. Gino would crumple up dollars and throw them at him and be like, dance for your dollars, monkeys, and he'd get kicked out.
Oh, my God.
Which you probably get kicked out in America for doing that.
Yeah.
But you can't give them dollar bills. $5 bills is the cheapest bill they'll take. And I'm not like a strip club guy. Like, I don't go to strip clubs out here.
Yeah, I don't like them.
But again, like when in Rome, I'm in Australia, let's do it. And our hotel was right next to a strip club when we ended up moving
Full
to the
nude
hotels.
or just topless?
Full nude. So they had bars there you could go to that they were just topless bars. Like, it was a normal bar, but all the girls were topless.
What a great thing.
And so we're at this bar, and I remember
went.
they come in and they grab me, and they're like, we got to go. Skeeter's hammered. And I'm like, fuck no. Like, I'm peeing on a stripper. I'm peeing on a girl tonight.
I signed a contract. So
100%. This
here.
is happening.
A verbal contract.
And So I come outside, and Skeeter is dead drunk, trying to fight everybody and their mom out in the sidewalk. And in Australia, they have CCTV. So every corner of every street, they have cameras on.
Yeah.
And the cops monitor it. It's monitored somewhere. And Skeeter's making like a really big scene. And I can tell, like, 2 blocks down, you can see a cop car sitting. And the cop cars in Australia, they're very noticeable. They have, like, neon coloring on the side of them.
They have their glow belts on.
So I can see this cop
the
car
Army.
sitting down there, and I understand. I'm hammered, but I get it. If we get caught, we can't get caught. We cannot get in trouble because I know we have the hotel coming up. We have too much cool shit coming up to where this is not worth it.
Yeah.
And we're like, Skeeter, get in the fucking van, and we're like face to face. You know, when Ski gets drunk, there's no telling Ski what to do. And he's like, fuck you guys, we're not getting in the van. And the stripper is at the door. The stripper's at the strip club door waiting for me to finish this altercation so I can go back in and eventually pee on her.
Does she want you to do this?
She told me, dude, she was enthusiastic when I mentioned pee. Enthusiastic. There was no like, sure, you can pee on me. It was like, fuck yeah, you can
think
pee
she
on me.
pulls out the hydration chart as you're doing it? And you're like, look, guy, you need to drink a little
Dude,
more water.
I'm single. I'm a Marine, and I just got told I could pee on a 10 out of a 10 stripper, like a real live
That's
hot girl.
crazy.
Cool as fuck.
I don't know if I would do that.
Oh, 100%. I would
Golden
do
shower.
that. How cool of a story is
No.
that?
I never peed on
Nothing
anybody
sexual.
before.
Like, there's no sexual energy coming from me to pee on a girl, but the story of it, 10 out of 10, totally doable. I do a lot of things just for the story. Like, if you ever,
I can't believe she was requesting it.
I don't know. I don't remember how it got brought up, but it wasn't like, hey,
Was
she
she
was
stung
like,
by
hey,
a jellyfish?
she wasn't.
Yeah.
She
It was
wasn't like,
actually
hey,
a
will you pee on me?
procedure.
Somewhere down the line,
You're a hero, actually.
At the age of 25, 24, I'm looking to do the wildest shit. I don't give a fuck. So anyway, so Skeeter's outside. We're arguing. Out of nowhere, Skeeter throws a punch at me. But it's like a dead drunk Skeeter punch. You know, I'm like, he totally, what do you call
Skeeter's
it?
in Shagarovsky?
Yeah. And the Skeeter's a big motherfucker.
This is
Big
after
old
this is
Russian-
after Kuwait, right? Where
Yeah.
he's all
Skeeter's
jacked
a
now.
big,
Yeah.
and he swings at me, but he comes from kind of down low, so I see it right before it happens, and I duck, and I just hit him as hard as I can right in the face. And
Oh,
it
no way.
collapses him. Collapses on the ground and bounces his face off the sidewalk.
Ooh, that's
So
dangerous.
the first thing to hit the ground was his head. And as soon as that happened, dude, that cop car whoop whoop pulls up right up to us. And we have remember
Fucking Americans.
do you remember we called him Chief
Yes.
Miller?
Yep.
Frederick Miller.
Yep. Remember, Chief.
Chief is driving everywhere where Chief is like our he's whatever.
Chauffeur.
He's got the van. He's got the shitty van that we were driving in. Chief is sitting there in the van, and like, do you remember Danny Hernandez? Big jacked Hernandez. Hernandez was no one. He was like an actual like. He got shot in L.A. when he was a.
Yeah.
He went to be a DI.
Yeah, he teaches at OCS now.
Oh wow.
So
No shit.
Danny's there. Everybody's there in the van, and the cop car pulls up, and there's 2 cops in there, and I'm like, we are fucked, and we're all hammered. And Ski now we have Ski in the van at this
Like,
point.
it's fine.
We
Put
drug
his
Ski into the
passed
van.
out body into the car.
Cops get out. They're like, wait. All we did was, I'm like, hey, listen, like, I'm a sergeant of the Marine Corps. We got everything under control. Like, we're here to just do some training. And as soon as they heard that we were Marines, dude, they're like, oh, fucking sweet. You know, like, sweet, you guys are here training. We're like, yeah, we're here training with this, this, and this. And they're like, oh, no way. So they think we're cool as shit. They're like, hey, as long as you got your guy, like, don't worry about it. Take care of your dude. Get him home.
CJTF 666.
Dude, so we get back to the base, and Ski is still fucked up, going crazy. The next morning, we have a giant meeting with the whole company. So everyone's at this. I think it was when we took that picture. We took a big giant picture with
In
everybody
front
there.
of the 666 sign.
Yes. Ski's face is all fucked up. He's got
Oh,
a big
really?
fat black eye, and he's got the scrapes from the concrete on his face. Tracy goes, our Sergeant Major is like, someone had to tell you last night, huh? And I was like, holy shit.
Like, hey, let's not happen again.
And he's like, yeah, it looks like you already got told what you did wrong, so let's just go ahead and not do that. Nothing ever came of it. No one ever. Sergeant Major Offit was the most legit Sergeant Major I think I've ever
shit.
experienced. He was all about like taking care of your own. Hey, dude, you guys got it under control. You got it. Nothing ever happened from it. Never got to pee on a stripper. I think a couple months ago I
didn't
brought
get
this
to?
up to Skeeter.
What a bummer.
I brought this up to Skeeter a couple months after that.
Like, you know, you ruined my one chance.
I tell him this all the fucking time.
Will Lacey let you fly back to go pee on that chick?
She fucking better. She's got no goddamn.
She's too busy studying.
In Australia, I've had no shit out of girl. She goes, I usually don't do this, but will you take me back to your hotel room and have sex with me?
You're like, sure you do.
And I'm talking like an 8, like a solid 8, like a good looking girl, a
Yeah.
really good looking girl. And I'm like, honey, of course I will. Like, come with me. Let's go. Come with me. Went back, smashed, same, and we went right back.
You know, that's international relations right there. All you're doing
I'm building relations.
You're building rapport with the local nationals.
One vagina at a time.
Man.
Tell you, I will distract Lacey with my teeth.
Yeah.
She can clean my teeth. You take a trip out to Australia, pee on old girl, and come right back.
She'd beat the shit out of me. She'd beat the goddamn dog shit out of me. But those are the things in Australia and these other countries we would go to where I knew I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do this again. Because I love partying. I love going out and meeting people. And like, we've gone to underground raves in Scotland. We've gone to we've done the deal. We've gone to Hong Kong and spent $6,000 in 2 days there. We've gone to...
I mean, we've talked about it. Coming out of Singapore, out of the club, and the sun's coming up.
5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, and like...
You know, I never went to there. I never went to the 4 floors of horse.
We got kicked out of there. We got chased out of there by a group of enslaved human traffickers. Josh and I.
Yeah.
Some shit you see on a movie where we were ringing the fucking elevator to get the doors closed, and there's a mob of human traffickers coming at us wanting...
They said they were in a room, and there was a chick like legitimately chained to the ground.
Oh.
I was not in that room.
Oh, was that not you?
That was not me.
Oh, never mind.
Fuck, that sounds dangerous, though. See, I'd like to be a part of that. Not to be
I wouldn't want to be part of that.
No, but we were in the 4 floors. That's where it happened, was in 4 floors
Yeah.
of horrors when they chased. I have videos of that on my phone.
That's crazy.
There was because in those countries you can get taxi drivers who are not real. They're just a dude. And you're like, hey, for $50, follow us around all night, drive us where we need to go, and we'll pay you, whatever. And then he had a van that was all tricked out with like lights, and it had a smoke thing in there, so the whole van was full of smoke and disco lights, and he was taking shots with us as he was driving. His little A driver he had was filling up the shots for all of us, and this is 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning probably.
There's so many Europeans there, like tourists and stuff too. It's just such a good time.
Yeah. Hong Kong is, the majority of it is people for business. I think every day there's close to like 8 million people.
I wonder what it's like now. Did you ever go to Hong Kong?
Dude, it's probably crazy now.
Like Bai Fong?
Never ever?
Kowloon?
I always wonder that. I wonder what Kowloon looks like right now.
I don't know.
Because Hong Kong's all up.
My hotel room was on the looking down on the square. It kind of looks like well, it reminded me of what I've seen pictures of because I've never been there of Times Square, of like the huge billboard, like electronic billboards.
Yeah.
My hotel room was like in between those billboards, like looking down on the square, and I'm like, this is fucking cool. Like we're in Hong Kong, baby.
And those are definitely the times you need to take advantage of.
The dog shifted the camera. Well, hey, gents, it's getting close to the Tyson fight, so let's wrap it up.
Tyson fight.
You
what
guys
time does that start?
I don't know. I hear in a couple, like an hour. I think they're going to be on in 2 hours.
In 2 hours.
Main card has already started.
Who do you got?
Dude, Tyson. I mean, I've been following it just enough to know that
Tyson looks
Roy
like he's
Jones
ready to
Jr. is
murder
good.
somebody.
He's good, but
That old man is still fucking badass.
that old man.
I would never talk shit. If he was 90 years old, I would not talk shit to
The way that he describes his body and the way he describes it's like a light switch, right? Like the way when he said like turning, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous decision to say, okay, I want to turn the switch back on to get me in fighting mode. 100%, I believe that there's a literal switch inside that man where it's like, okay,
he's serious right
he's
now.
Psychotic. Oh yeah,
he's
like
all
you've turned me on, dude.
Yeah.
Now I'm liable to kill somebody.
Like, yeah, this is an exhibition fight.
That
sure.
motherfucker. And I also read in that fight that they're trying not to do any knockouts or anything like that.
We'll see.
But how are you going to stop that motherfucker from knocking someone out?
That's a bad motherfucker.
At 50
still.
years old, that dude moves like he's 20.
All right. Well, Taser's knocking everything around. My dog is wanting to go out. So let's end it. Check out Michael Farrell on Instagram, fairbear_89, and
me.
Paul Smith is Smudge8002. 8002 on Instagram. I am Former Action Guys and at J Kramer Graphics. This is the Former Action Guys podcast. I appreciate everyone checking it out. Had a couple technical difficulties there, but we worked our way through
We'll
it.
buff out.
All right. Thanks, guys, for coming on.
Hey, and go pee on a stripper for me, would you?
That's the American thing to do.
In Australia.